James West here, reporting from Houston, Texas for Climate Desk. Now, one of the biggest uncertainties in climate science right now is the role of clouds. What better way to work that part out than flying right through them? That's what NASA scientists aboard this airplane think. Welcome to NASA's biggest airborne laboratory. You're coming with us today on an 8-hour NASA flight mission.
When you read these big IPCC climate assessments, what's the biggest uncertainty? There's two, right? The role of aerosols and clouds. Clouds is probably bigger than aerosols.
That is a piece of a puzzle that right now we are missing.
You can't get the models right if you don't understand the chemistry and the process.
Now we're being told we've got to get on. The doors are about to shut, so let's go aboard. Every time you weather, hear a climate change, that is come from starts by getting the air.
Try to understand the surface, mostly emission. So for plans.
Right now, going to our part of the experiment on the 8. Over Arkansas, there's a particular pungent emissions that are interested in measuring.
Well, these emissions lead to both aerosols and to molecules that both destroy and create ozone. So these are very important things to understand for climate studies.
How it will manifest itself, it will be in more accurate and more reliable predictions.
So what we're doing is taking a series of flyovers, each at a different level of the atmosphere, scooping up those emissions, testing them, and hopefully scientists are going to see exactly what's in this column of air all the way up.
The data that we collect in one flight can keep busy 60 scientists and students for 3 years, 4 years. We're still studying data from data collected 20 years ago.
In fact, this particular mission today is its most heavily equipped in its nearly 30 years of service. Each one of these consoles here is a specially equipped scientific instrument designed to collect all sorts of different data in real time.
And this instrument here tracks the sun.
We're looking at mist chambers. They're used to strip soluble gases.
This black line is the CO2. It's about 390 ppm right now.
We're putting these filters in the bags that we've got the aerosols that we trapped out of a certain amount of air. And so we're sampling up here about 150 liters a minute.
That ultimately flows back into the operational models. It flows back into what goes on TV every day.
Anyway, I got to get this sample going.
You do it. It's a busy man at work. We can't let him rest. Well, get this. We've just spent 2 hours crisscrossing this one cloud formation. In, back out again, back in again.
Then they grow, and we track them as long as we can, and then we let it go.
Even one cloud can hold a host of answers to the mysteries of climate change.
The patterns of, where the clouds are, what type of clouds we see, what kind of weather systems they're associated with it, that'll all be shifting in a shifting climate, in a world with climate change.
Then the big spark is this, is when we actually get the meat on the grill. And then it will be some time to process it.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
officer. Were you the one who arrested me? Gonna shake my hand? So I got invited to host a vigil called Carry the Names. And that's what they were doing, carrying the names of the people who were victims of deadly police force. Michael Brown, Eric Garner, that guy Gurley. I got a motion from Dragonfly from Stop Shopping Choir, and I started preaching. I preached up a storm as best I could, but about a minute and a half into my sermon, the place was flooded with police, Homeland Security, National Guard, state troopers, and I was pushed over and handcuffed so fast, down in the jail, down in the basement. Before you know it, I was out the door, put in prison overnight. The next morning, I'm in court, the same thing happens. I'm just rushed out of there. Then our lawyer, Wiley Steckler, gives me this iPhone. And there, in black and white, in the Gothamist, a popular paper, is this charge by Adam Lisberg, the MTA law enforcement spokesperson for this grand place. His quote is that I, Reverend Billy, physically attacked a police officer. Unbelievable. The feeling of being robbed of my work and life and identity, just the fiction. I did not touch anybody. I did not look. I know how to do this. I'm trained in nonviolence. I did not do anything. It was right here. It was right here. It happened right here. I was simply arrested while I was speaking and taken away, and that's it. The cold feeling in my city, the city that I love, that city spokespersons whose salary I pay for with my taxes, that they would say this. I could just feel the rending apart of the community, that we are not that close. We're not. They are willing to say this, and they think that they can just say anything about anybody and get away with it. So we have something in the Church of Stop Shopping called radical forgiveness. Amen?
Cops and bankers love their children.
I forgive the police.
We gotta love them too. Cops and bankers love their mothers.
But I'll stay radical.
Mothers love their brothers. We gotta love them too.
But we'll wake up every morning forgiving each other, reaching out, touching, telling stories, having humor, being in a community together, sharing our children, sharing the streets, sharing the climate, being in the city together.
What you gonna do when the temperature's so? Love our children too.
But forgiving each other, being grateful to each other,
Love our children too.
helping each other out,
Then I sat at the
living
banker's
together.
desk. I gotta get something
Living
off my
together.
chest. I got a daughter just turned 4. What do we do in the superstore? What do we do with the blood and the gore? The water's rising through our door. Love our children too. Love our children too.
Amen. Earth-alleluia.
A few years ago, plastic bag waste in our city came to a tipping point. It was clear we had a bag problem. My department was tasked to reduce plastic bag consumption. We needed to come up with ways to change human behavior. So we asked ourselves,
would you like a bag?
What do people really hate?
Yep.
Getting punched in the stomach. Preliminary studies showed that the consequences weren't severe enough to warrant behavioral change.
Actually, can I get that double bagged?
So we thought, what do people hate more than getting punched in the stomach? Kissing Helga.
Hey, big boy.
People didn't find her so offensive after all, so we had to get creative.
How many bags Okay, now, pour this ice water down your pants.
We tried everything.
Eat this rat. Defuse this bomb.
Even fighting your clone. After blowing through millions of dollars of government funds on research, I came up with a brilliant idea.
Why don't we just charge 5 cents per bag?
That's a stupid idea.
Would you like a bag?
Yes.
5 cents a bag.
5 cents? 5 cents? Do I still have the option of getting punched?
Honestly, I don't know how everyone else missed it.
Why don't you just get a reusable bag?
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
Whoa, here we are on a Friday, June 5th. The Bill Press Show live on your radio, on your TV, on your computer, on your handheld device, on your smartphone. What else do you want from us, people? We're trying to hit you everywhere you are. I clearly am not Bill Press. My name is Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in for Bill Press today. Goodness gracious, is it June 5th already?
I know, almost summer. We're almost there.
It feels like just yesterday it was June 4th, and now here we are, June 5th. It doesn't feel like summer here in Washington, D.C. It's been raining all week. It's chilly willy woo outside. I got the kids. Every day they come home from school. 65 degrees outside, pissing down rain, and the kids go, "Can we go to the pool today?" No, you
There's
can't
no
go
thunder. Why can't you go to the pool?
And the pool's open, by the way. There are animals out there laying by the pool when it's this cold. No, kids, we're not going to the pool today. Hi, everyone. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press today. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, do we have a show for you. Like I said, we are broadcasting live on your favorite progressive talk radio station anywhere in the country. Also, we are streaming live audio and streaming live video at youtube.com/TawkrTV. TAWKR-TV is where you can watch the show on your computer. You don't like doing the whole ... thing? Free Speech TV is where you can watch us on DirecTV or Dish Network. Make sure you check us out. And, of course, our website is BillPressShow.com. We're tweeting at BP Show. I'm tweeting at Peter Ogburn. What all the self-promotion this morning already. Running the board this morning is Elisa Murphy. Elisa, hello there.
Hey, happy Friday.
Happy Friday indeed. If you call our number, the number is 866-55-PRESS or 866-557-7377. You will be lucky enough to talk to Jamie Benson, who is standing by to take your calls. There he is. And take it easy on Cyprian Bolding this morning. He had a bit of an evening. He was
I can't believe he made it in, actually.
Very late. Your Washington Nationals had a bit of a late start last night because of the rain delay. So Cyprian came in and was just exhausted. He's tired. He's talking about how I said, "What time did you get to bed?" He goes, "About 1 a.m.
Oh, no.
Bruh. 1 a.m.? Are you kidding? No thanks. Hard pass. By the way, can we talk about this?
Please, because I feel naked without it.
All right, so I used to run the board in there, as the loyal fans know. And we've got this box. It's called an instant replay. It's got all the old sound effects in it.
The 360 selector.
The 360 selector. The IR for those of you in the know for talking shop. But it's got all the sound effects on it. It's got a bunch of old clips on it. It's the Wayback Machine, as we call it here on the show. But it used to be in there, and Elisa uses it for a lot of stuff. But when I hosted, I figured it out to where I could move the thing into here so that when I'm hosting, I could build myself up. And I can host when I host the show, right? It's just like a Rick Ross song. That's right.
So you basically have a bag of tricks in there that you can play with all day long.
So distracting. It's so, yes, Cyprian, I'm going to play with myself in here. Thank you very much. Like I can't hear you out there. So it's me, it's Elisa, it's Jamie, it's Cyprian, and the whole gang here. Who do we have here? We got
what up with that?
We got Jack Cafferty there, right? We got
what up with that?
Alexandria Mitchell joining in. And we've got oh, there's Rick Perry. Oh dear, we got to talk about Rick Perry later. And of course, good morning to you know who. Hola, Mr. President George Bush, who is out of office but still polling better than Barack Obama apparently. Hey, you want to hear? Like the moment that we all just start the slide off into the great abyss of nothing, right? When culture and society as we know it just turned over, belly up. Last night on Jeopardy, there was a question about who is the current attorney general, right? Like, not who is the attorney general under, JFK or some obscure thing, right? We all know who the current attorney general is. It was a big, big news story. So on Jeopardy, that was the question. Name the current U.S. attorney general. If that wasn't enough, they showed a picture of her. They had a picture of Loretta Lynch as part of the stupid clue. And yet, this happened.
Before your eyes, 600, please.
Here she is at her Senate confirmation hearing to be our top cop. And the lady's name is Loretta Lynch.
Are you kidding
Unbelievable.
me? Are you kidding me?
Got him!
Are you kidding me? They didn't know Loretta Lynch.
And that was a slow confirmation, so that was in the papers for months.
Forever. It was like half a year we had to deal with that. Oh, good Lord. Come on. Everybody. Alex Trebek should have just said, all of you go home.
That is such shame.
Everybody
really is.
go home. Everybody go home. Nobody wins. No one's allowed to win. By the way, today, Friday, June 5th, is National Donut Day.
Woohoo! Get your donuts.
Mm-hmm. I'm drinking my decaf ice, John, here from the Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah, we all drink decaf here at the Bill Press Show.
I've given up caffeine. As you could probably tell by my low key demeanor. I'm anti National Blank Day because every day is something.
I know,
it's like
every
National
day.
Enchilada Day or
It was just National Biscuit Day last week. So you might be for something like that.
I'm okay with that. Every day is National Biscuit Day if you try hard enough. I'm anti-National Blank Day. It's like every day. National Scrambled Eggs Day. Something stupid. National Ice Day. Everybody's got something stupid. Every single day is a dumb thing. But National Donut Day, I can get behind.
Are you going to make a couple stops today?
Oh, yeah. Of course I am. Who are you talking to here? All these different donut shops, I think Krispy Kreme, you get a free donut. Dunkin' Donuts, you get a free donut. I don't know.
Is District Donut doing it, you think?
I don't know. Here in Washington, D.C.? We should find out. I mean, I'm not going to make Jamie go back down and get more donuts.
He really wants to.
Not that we wouldn't eat them, but... All right, so when I found out I was hosting the show, I really wanted to start specifically with the issue of the Duggar family. We have talked about this a little bit, about the Duggars and what's going on with them. And it's not something to make fun of, because there have been some people making jokes about the Duggars and the weird family and the fact that they got 19 kids and counting. That's the name of what their show used to be, but they are hardcore evangelical Christians. They homeschool their children. They are very, very conservative. Jim Bob Duggar, which, by the way, come on, guys.
You think it's a punchline already?
Jim Bob Duggar and his dead behind the eyes wife, Michelle, sat down with Megyn Kelly night before last and gave their take on what was going on with the family. If you've been living under a rock, here's what's happening. The family, which again has 19 children, one of their sons, Josh Duggar, was accused of molesting 5 underage girls. Turns out 4 of them were his sisters, which is disgusting. I mean, it's horrible to even I can't even fathom that story. But remarkably, it doesn't end there. It's a lot worse. Josh Duggar came to his family, told them what he had done after the first time that he did it, and they did nothing. They didn't tell anybody. They figured they could just handle this on their own. He was 14 years old at the time, and when they didn't do anything, he continued to go on and molested more underage girls. There's a couple things going on with the fact that the Duggars went to Fox News to give their interview. And I'm going to try my best to spell this out for you. First of all, there is a very concerning trend in this story about their supporters and the family themselves reframing this debate. They're taking it away from a sexual assault, a sexual molestation story. I want you to listen to the father, Jim Bob. They call it improper touching.
Well, 12 years ago, we went through one of the most darkest times that our family's ever gone through. And our son, Josh, came to us on his own, and he was crying. And he had just turned 14. And he said that he had actually improperly touched some of our daughters.
Improperly touched, a.k.a. molested a young girl. This family, very religious, devout, evangelical Christians. I'm not saying that they excused his behavior, but they tried to lessen the blow when he talks about why Josh even went there in the first place.
He said he was just curious about girls, and he had gone in and just basically touched them over their clothes while they were asleep, and they didn't even know he had done it. Mm-hmm. And so we went, and the first thing was to protect the girls, and so we went in.
The girls all sleep together? Mm-hmm.
Yes, the girls had 2 bedrooms at the time, but anyway.
How many girls were we talking
about? We had 5 girls at the time.
Okay.
And so, but anyway, he went in and said he had done this, and so we, first off, of course, really talked to him, and then we went and talked to all the girls.
Okay, so he talks about the curiosity of the child. Now, again, this idea of these fundamental Christians who will never talk to their children. You think if they had an open and honest discussion about sex and becoming a man or becoming a woman and talking to their children about the do's and don'ts, giving them a helpful guidebook about their own sexuality as they come of age, I guarantee you they didn't. Sex is horrible. Sex is deplorable outside of marriage. Impure thoughts are terrible. Touching oneself is completely forbidden in the house. So you've got this kid who has some demons, combined with the fact that there's no open forum and no discussion about what to do with sexual feelings, and being shut out of that and having that curiosity brewing inside of you, and all you know is that any kind of sexual release will send you straight to hell. So that is a real problem. So this young man, he's 14, tells his parents, they discuss it, as Jim Bob just said, and then, sickly, it resumed.
We thought, at first that Josh, was on the road to men, at first, but he was still a kid, and he was still a juvenile. He wasn't an adult. And so there was a couple more times that he came and told us what he had done, and we were just devastated. Now, all these, again, this was not rape or anything like that. This was like touching somebody over their clothes. Mm-hmm. There were a couple incidents where he touched them under their clothes.
Again, pause.
But
again, this is one of those situations where they're trying to reframe this whole thing. It wasn't rape. It was just touching over the clothes of a young girl. Oh, it's not so bad. It wasn't rape or anything. At least it wasn't rape. This makes me sick that they put this on Fox News. Are you kidding me? Go ahead. Keep going.
And then he came to us and was crying and told us what happened. And it was after that third time he came to us is where we really felt like, you know what? We have done everything we can as parents to handle this in-house. We need to get help.
Pause. All right. So third time is when they realize that's when the alarm bells start going off. 3 times it takes them. So how did they handle it? They sent him off to get some help within their church. I'm going to read to you a little bit about where they took their son, Josh. Here we go. The Duggars, this is from the Puffington Host. The Duggars are actively involved with the conservative Christian homeschooling program, and People reports that ATT, that is the Advanced Training Institute, where they were members. The Institute in Basic Life Principles runs the facility where Jim, Bob, and Michelle sent their son for counseling after they learned of the abuse in 2003. One document called Counseling Sexual Abuse strongly suggests that victims are to blame for their own abuse. The guide instructs victims to ask themselves, quote, why did God let this happen? And they offer potential reasons like immodest dress, indecent exposure, and being with evil friends. So you see, this place that they sent Josh Duggar, the 14-year-old, 15-year-old kid, young man, they sent him to a place that excused his behavior. You don't believe me? Let's get it straight from the horse's mouth. The sisters sat down with Megyn Kelly. The interview is going to be aired tonight. And here's just a little bit that they released ahead of time. This is Jill or Jessa Duggar. They have the two of them together there. And they are the two of the ones that were molested.
Do you feel like the victim of a molestation?
I do want to speak up in his defense against people who are calling him a child molester or a pedophile or a rapist, some people are saying. I'm like, that is so overboard and a lie, really. I mean, people will get mad at me for saying that, but I'm like, I can say this, I was one of the victims.
Yeah, I am going to get mad at you for saying that. You believe in this culture, this rape culture that's out there, and we've got a rape victim out there praising. I shouldn't say a rape victim, by the way, because it doesn't appear that she was raped. But this victim that's out there making excuses for the man who assaulted her, and it's her own brother. You think this doesn't all come back down to this religious teaching of immodest dress, being with evil friends brought this on. 866-55-PRESS is our phone number. 866-557-7377. I would love to get your take on this. Shame, shame, shame on Fox News for allowing this trash. For allowing this family to go on there and rebuild their image after something so terrible. Makes me sick. 866-557-7377. My name is Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in for Bill Press today. Quick break. We'll be right back.
This is the
Hey friends, good to see you today. I hope you're enjoying this show. Now look, let's take a little time out, and I gotta tell you friends, I love you, but I got a big beef with you today. I mean, come on. We are a couple of days already into our pledge drive. We're here at the end of the week, and we're not feeling the love at this end yet. Come on. I know you don't like hearing me remind you to make your pledge to Free Speech TV any more than I like having to remind you. But the fact is, we got a great thing going here called Free Speech TV, the only progressive 24-hour cable channel anywhere in this country. We got a great thing going. We want to keep it going, and the only way we can keep it going is with your help. So, come on, stop farting around. Let's make your pledge today. Do it today before the weekend, and please, as generous as you can. just think what you get for your pledge. First of all, you get me and Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and Amy Goodman and David Packman and all the other great hosts on Free Speech TV in your home every day, plus the great documentaries that Free Speech provides as well to fill out the programming. With all of that, that in and of itself is worth making the pledge for. But if you need an extra little incentive, here are a couple of things you ought to consider. If you can just help us with $60, we will send you one of these very fun little stamps that you can put on your checks, on your dollar bills or whatever, that say, not to be used for bribing politicians. Help us out with $120. That's just $10 a month. And we'll send you a copy of John Nichols' great book on money in politics called Dollarocracy. For $240 or $20 a month, you get the stamp, not to be used for bribing politicians, please, and a copy of Dollarocracy. And for $360, you get the whole enchilada, the stamp, not to be used for bribing politicians, copy of John Nichols' book, Dollarocracy, and a Free Speech TV baseball cap. A special gift out there. And remember, I know you've seen that other video with Craig Teer from out in Michigan, drove all the way here to make his $500 pledge and to challenge you to match you or you and your friends to match his pledge of $500. So lots of reasons to do it. And if you can help with the big $1,000, if you're capable of doing that, you make the pledge to Free Speech TV, then get yourself to Washington with a friend. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, and we'll bring you into studio the next morning to meet the team, have some district donuts, and have a good time here. So make your pledge today. Come on, please. We need it. Do it before the weekend. Here's a number, 877-378-8669, 877-378-8669, or just go to freespeech.org. We need your help. We want to feel your love today. Thank you.
What the frack?
What the frack?
What the frack?
What the frack?
President Obama, are you fracking kidding me?
Reopen the EPA studies. In Texas, Wyoming, and Pennsylvania.
Fracking pollutes our oceans.
Fracking poisons our water.
Fracking makes climate change worse.
Fracking relies on toxic chemicals that cause cancer.
Ban fracking now.
Ban fracking now.
Go on. Ban it.
Ban fracking now.
Please.
It is the Bill Press Show. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press today. We got a lot of calls on the line. I see you lining up. Harriet, you're up after the break. I promise we're going to take your calls on the Duggar situation. Why would Fox News let them on the air? They're still up there talking about it. They got more interviews coming up tonight with the daughters. 866-55-PRESS, 866-557-7377. Peter Ogburn in for Bill Press. We'll be right back.
This is the Bill Press Show.
All right, folks, just a little time out. Hope you're enjoying the show today. A little time out here to tell you again and get your about Free Speech TV and get your help. And, you know, we reach out to you, all of our viewers around the country during these pledge drives, ask you to help. And we're so grateful when you do. And it's very rare, though. We get a chance to thank one of you actually in person. So we welcome to the show today and to our studio Craig Teer, all the way from Chelsea, Michigan, a regular Free Speech viewer and a very generous contributor to Free Speech. Craig, it's good to see you.
It's good to be here, Bill.
Thank you for coming in all the way from Chelsea, Michigan. I know last year we met because you were made a $1,000 pledge. You and your daughter came. Carol and I, we all went out to dinner together, had a good time. That was a lot of fun.
Had a great time.
Right. And it's good to see you back. So tell us again, why do you really like Free Speech TV?
Free speech to me is the dream come true. It's television without commercials, plain and simple.
Yeah, and you like the people and obviously in the content on Free Speech?
All of the regular programs plus all of the special programs you can't find anyplace else on the television set.
It's the one progressive television channel people don't realize is maybe in the country, right? 24/7, where you can always count on going there and hearing good stuff from a progressive point of view.
This is true. It's 24 hours a day. All of the programs are great to watch, intellectually stimulating, and have great progressive concepts.
Well, we wouldn't be here without people like you, and I want to thank you again personally. And you're back today because you want to make another pledge and challenge people to meet it, right?
That's right. I would like to pledge a half of my net worth, 0.5% of my net worth, to match the Koch brothers' donation to the GOP. So I am committing $500.
Great.
To the Free Speech TV, and hope that your listeners can match that.
I think that's a great challenge, all right? So there you go. There's $500 from Craig Teer today. You can match that yourself or a couple of you, 2 or 3 of you. Get together, get your family members together, and match this pledge so Craig doesn't feel alone. And we have the help we need on Free Speech to get going. And, of course, you know the way to do so, Craig, you certainly do, is give us a call at 877-378-8669. Number again, 877-378-8669. Or just go to freespeech.org, freespeech.org. And, Craig, the other thing I want to congratulate you on, you are a pioneer in solar energy. I know you have a solar-powered car right now. So you're doing so many great things. You know,
I've been doing this for most of my life, wind and solar energy, and supporting environmental groups and organizations that promote solar energy.
Well, so good of you to do that, and so good of you to come in. And thanks again for your help for Free Speech TV. And match Craig Teer's $500 grant. Thank you, Craig.
It's so important. Thank you.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Indeed. This is the Bill Press Show. My name is Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in for Bill Press today. Boy, oh boy. What a show we have planned for you today. Coming up, we're going to be talking to our friend Wright from The Nation. Also, in the next hour of the program, Jonathan Levy will be joining me in studio for the next 2 hours. And lots of other good stuff. We're drinking in here today, aren't we? Are we drinking?
Yes, we are.
In the third hour?
It's the only way we get you in here on Fridays, Peter.
Perfect. We're going to be drinking in the third hour of the program. Plus, 2016 news yesterday. Rick Perry made his big announcement. We're going to talk about it. It's also National Donut Day. Thank you to Jamie Benson, who went and got us some donuts today from Dunkin' Donuts. I got this little, this is one of those blueberry cake donuts.
You got some sprinkle on your lip, Peter. Be careful.
Crap. I haven't had any yet. I like a good Bloobs cake donut. I love those. Anyway, go get your donut wherever your local donut place is. Go check that out. We're talking about the Duggars today. Fox News just will not let up, man. They are the chosen network for the Duggars. They went and they spoke to Megyn Kelly on Wednesday night. There's going to be more this evening from the sisters that Josh Duggar, one of the 19 children that they have, molested. We heard a little bit from them earlier where they made apologies for him. Said it wasn't his fault. He wasn't a rapist. Again, I'm going to read to you straight from the text of this group, the Institute in Basic Life Principles, which takes a look at what this group teaches folks like the Duggars, right? These fundamentalist evangelical Christians, and how they look at sexual abuse. They say things like, or they instruct victims to ask themselves, why did God let this happen? I don't know. They say that there are reasons like immodest dress, indecent exposure, and being with evil friends. In other words, if you're a young woman and you lay down on a sofa or a couch or a bed and there's anything indecent, a little too much leg showing or a little too much skin showing on your upper arm, that you're inviting sexual abuse. That is what this says. That women invite this. And you go on to hear the way that the Duggars say, well, this was improper touching, or, he's just curious.
And it was a wrongdoing. That's what it was.
Not a crime, a wrongdoing. Let's be very clear about this. The Duggars could have gone to jail for this and would have gone to jail for this if it weren't for the statute of limitations. Like, that's the law. You have a sexual abuse, you know about it, and you don't report it, and you harbor that, and you cover it up, you go to jail. But it's been too long. I want to take some calls here, 866-55-PRESS. Oh, look at the calls. We got all kinds of calls. 866-557-7377. Harriet in Jacksonville, Florida. Hi, Harriet.
Hi, Peter. My comment is that this guy is a pedophile. Pedophiles never change. So I'm really concerned about his children. He has children now, and
he does have children.
He's in a house with his children, and I'm worried: are his children safe around him?
He does have children, and I don't think that the label of pedophile is too strong to put on someone like this. The best defense that his supporters can offer, and thank you for the call, Harriet. I appreciate the call. The best defense that they can offer is, he was a young. I mean, he was a 14, 15, 16-year-old child, just a child. Mike Huckabee stands by him. Mike Huckabee put out a statement declaring his support for a child molester. He's running for president, and he put out a statement of support for a child molester. And yet, he still has his kids, and his family still goes out and shows their face, keeps a straight face, and acts like it's not that big of a deal. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. Hey, look who it is. It's Ike in Charleston. Hey, Ike, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, good morning.
Hey, I'm going to be in Charleston next month, by the way, so...
Well, you got to give me a call. Quit sneaking into town like that.
Yeah, let's get together. Let's drink some brown water.
Yeah, there you go. And I was going to kind of make a joke. That's like when we met. You were dressed kind of hot. You were kind of asking for it. What can I say?
That whole tired old argument that people have been using for grown women for so long, the asking for it argument. I know. It's been out there forever. But the fact that they're actually trying to apply this to a child. Ugh.
Right. And let me point something else out. Did you notice that they sent Josh for counseling, but they didn't send the girls anywhere? Also, too, let me point out, the heroes that the right wing continue to pick, the people like Cliven Bundy who come out to be a racist, the people like the Duck Dynasty guy where he stands up there and tells these men that they should get a hold of the girls when they're 15 and 16. You got to get them while they're young. The kind of disgusting people that they stand there and back. This is just par for the course. And when it comes down to it, yeah, the Christians, your repressed sexual teachings and your abstinent-only teachings and acting and basically forcing that onto your children, it's part of your mental defect. You got a problem.
Rack him. Great call, Ike. That's an excellent point. Look, everyone says, this shouldn't be a political issue. Bull crap. You've got You mentioned Cliven Bundy, whatever that Yahoo's name was. This anti-government freak who turns out to be crazy racist. You've got guys like Ted Nugent, right? That all these Republican candidates were all like, oh, we got to get his endorsement. Oh, we got to get Ted Nugent's endorsement. Turns out he's a full-blown maniac. This guy, Jim Bob Duggar, this father, he's got selfies that he took with every Republican candidate running for president this new cycle. I was there in Charleston, South Carolina, when they had the GOP primary in 2012. You know who was there supporting Rick Santorum in a big, big way? The Duggars. They were all there. That big, stupid bus of theirs pulled up in front of the College of Charleston Coliseum. They all filed out to go and show their support for Rick Santorum. So all these Republicans that go, oh, we need their support because they're on the TV. This is what happens. This is what happens when you tie yourself to full-blown maniacs. Rita in Beverly Shores, Indiana. Is that Beverly Shores, Indiana? On the coast of Indiana. Is that right, Rita? Hey, now.
Yes, good morning.
What's your take?
Well, I sometimes think that Fox News just does what it does for the ratings when it comes to where it gets its money. And I also think that any true Christian that I know would say this young man is not a sinner, this young woman is not a sinner, that this young man needs psychological help. He may have a personality disorder or a greater problem. So this behavior is not Christian.
No, that's an excellent point, Rita, and thank you for the call. That's one of the things I've been getting at is this it's like Scientology, right? This ignorance, this willful ignorance of actually addressing the problem. They dance around it, they skirt around it. There's a clip that I don't think we played yet where Jim Bob talks about how we don't have to play it, where they send him off to go do construction with a family friend, that somehow that's going to help him get through this. Or a group for troubled Christian teens who can handle it in their own way. The same group that tells young girls or women that God let this happen because of their, quote, immodest dress, indecent exposure, or being with evil friends. Makes me, honest to God, it makes me sick. Janet, Kathleen, Georgia. What's happening, Janet?
Well, I have serious doubts as to whether Josh Duggar actually confessed this behavior. I have taught too many students that age. They don't confess anything.
Janet,
they never come forward. They're always caught.
Janet,
they don't want to tell you that they didn't do their homework last night.
That's a very interesting comment, Janet. That's something I hadn't really thought about.
And having been brought up in an environment where you do not discuss sex or anything having to do with sex, I just, again, find it highly, highly doubtful that Josh Duggar actually confessed this.
That's a good point, Janet. I can't say I disagree with you. I'm not going to go totally there with you, but it is a very, very good point. Thank you for the call, Janet. Gosh, I appreciate all the wonderful calls today. But there is something to be said, and I know certain people are going to have an issue with this religion thing that we keep bringing up, but there is something to be said about the religious aspect of this. When you have the religion who, and I'm talking about the hardest of hardcore evangelical fundamentalist Christians, right? Who, impure thoughts, you're going to hell. Any sexual contact, you're going to hell. Touching yourself, going to hell. All this stuff. Like the worst thing you could do. It's all built on shame. Shame. What a shameful act. It's a good point, Janet, about whether or not someone that age would actually fess up and own up to what they did. It's the Bill Press Show. My name is Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in for Bill Press today. 866-55-PRESS is our phone number. 866-557-7377. I would love to hear from you. Taking your calls. We got a lot more show coming up right after this.
Hey, what do you say, friends and neighbors? Good morning. Good morning. I've got just one question for you. That's all today. Have you made your pledge yet? If not, why not? Come on, you know that we need your help. We really, really do count on your help. We couldn't do it without you. So we ask you to make your pledge today. You know how it works around here. I mean, Free Speech TV, in a sense, free speech isn't. I mean, at least in one sense, free speech isn't, because, yes, we are free to say whatever we want without any censorship, without any corporate editorial pressure. We are, as a result of having no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money, we can bring you every day just the freewheeling, independent, unafraid, good, strong, progressive analysis and commentary that you like. That's why you tune in. Certainly we are free to do that every day. But, you know, it's not free to produce the programming, not free to create the programming, not free to get this program out to you every day, 24/7. That's where we need your help because, again, without any corporate funds, without any government funds, we don't even seek them, without any Koch brothers funds, we could not just be here every day. We totally depend on your help and your pledges, and now's the time to make them. If you can help us with just $60, we'll send you a very fun item. That's just $5 a month. Send you a very fun item, a little stamp that says not to be used for bribing politicians, just to raise the issue of all this excess obscene money in politics. For $120 a month, $120, $10 a month, send you a copy of John Nichols' great new book about the evil of money in politics called Dollarocracy. We don't have a democracy, we have a dollarocracy, says John Nichols. For $20 a month or $240 pledge, we'll send you that stamp plus the book by John Nichols, and step it up to $30 a month, $360 a year. How about it? You get the stamp, not used for bribing politicians. You get the book by John Nichols, Dollarocracy, and a free speech baseball cap as well. For those of you who can make a very special gift of $1,000, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will join you for dinner one night, take you out to dinner here at one of our great restaurants on Capitol Hill, and then you can come in the next morning, meet our team. We'll get some donuts in, and you can be part of the program that following morning. At any rate, the most important thing is Free Speech TV. We can only bring you that freewheeling commentary if you make your pledge, and we urge you again, we really need your help. Do it now. Don't put it off any longer. You can get to the end of the program and feel satisfied that Free Speech TV is there today because of your pledge that you make today. Thank you.
Streaming live video right now at youtube.com/TawkrTV. That's TAWKR-TV. This is The Bill Press Show.
It is The Bill Press Show, 48 minutes past the hour. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press today on this Friday, June 5th. Almost welcome to the weekend. We're joined now by features editor for The Nation, Kai Wright. You can follow Kai on Twitter at Kai_Wright. That's Kai, Kai_Wright, WRIGHT. Joins us now to talk about the Koch brothers. I always have to struggle because I always want to say the Koch boys. But it's not the Koch boys. It's Charles and David Koch, not French Montana. But Kai, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So you have this great piece. We're going to tweet it out, by the way, at BP Show called Life and Death in Brownback's Kansas. Of course, we're talking about Sam Brownback, the governor. Let's start, first of all, with Sam Brownback because, you think we've got some crazy contenders in the race for the White House this time around. Let's not forget Sam Brownback was there not so long ago.
Yeah, and I think what's notable too is we look at somebody like Scott Walker, who's sort of positioning himself to be the Tea Party candidate, but much of what Scott Walker says he wants to accomplish in Wisconsin, Brownback has already done in Kansas. They've really turned the state into a lab sort of for these far right ideas, these far right zero government, libertarian utopia ideas, and so we want to take a look at what that looks like on the ground. And
so, what does it look like? How's it looking?
People dying. We've quite literally. We've spent some time in southeast Kansas, which is the poorest and least well part of the state, and we've heard about the the impact on government for his sort of drive to zero taxes, but the refusal to offer basic services to the working poor. It has devastating consequences, and the most dramatic of those is the refusals to expand Medicaid as part of Obamacare. And the folks I spoke with, that everywhere you turned, somebody who was in desperate poverty and had jobs, employed people in desperate poverty who could not get basic care, people who could not get care for the woman who is the lead of the story, who has had 3 cancers, worked 30 years in factories without insurance, and is literally on her deathbed at this point. And she just here about a month ago, she finally qualified for disability so that she could get into Medicaid. But otherwise, she could get no health care. And her doctor says, listen, if we had been able to get her care 3 or 4 years ago, she would be living. We would have been able to take care of this.
Where is this push coming from? Who wants this who wants their government to run this way?
Well, as you said at the opening, certainly the Koch brothers are part of the push. The Americans for Prosperity has been a key part of it in Kansas and around the country. When the governor came in, I think what's interesting is this is not a battle between Republicans and Democrats in a place like Kansas. This was a battle between Republicans and Republicans. When Governor Sam Brownback came in, the Senate was controlled by moderate Republicans, conservatives, who were interested in actual governance as opposed to taking apart the government. And they kept getting in his way. And in 2012, in the Republican primaries, they literally purged them with money from Americans for Prosperity, from money from Koch Industries put into the state chamber of commerce. They purged the Senate, and it is now completely controlled by Brownback's cronies.
Good Lord.
And when you talk to those those moderate Republicans who have been purged, and I spoke to many of them, they're still shell-shocked. They say we have no idea what happened. We were here one day. We were running our state. The Republican insurance commissioner, she's a 27-year Republican, had been a leader in the party. She was on her way to creating a health system. She's still shell shocked. She says, I don't know what happened. One day we were on our way to trying to get greater care for people in our state, and the next thing you know, we were all out of a job.
So we only have about 30 seconds here, Kai. I just want to ask you one last thing about the future of a Sam Brownback. How does it look on the ground there, and what happens?
Well, he was reelected, and I struggle to answer that question.
Yeah.
I struggle to answer what his future is or what the end game is for him, because it's clear that the future for the state of Kansas under his leadership is bleak, and that is demonstrable. The deficit has been run up. The hospitals are going out of business. And people are dying. Everywhere you turn, there's demonstrable negative impact from his decisions, and it's unclear to me then where he goes, having shown that you can break a state, but not lead a state. But maybe that's the end. Maybe that's the idea, is that states shouldn't function.
Kai Wright, the features editor for The Nation. Follow Kai on Twitter at Kai_Wright, KAI_WRIGHT. Hey, Kai, thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right, it's the Bill Press Show. That's terrifying. My God. It's the Bill Press Show. My name is Peter Ogburn. Sitting in for Bill Press. We'll be right back.
This is the Bill Press Show.
What gets you into college? Good SAT scores? High GPA? Lots of extracurriculars?
Sure, but what you really need is money.
If you don't have the cash, you'll need a loan.
And we mean huge student loans, because the cost of college has risen 1,000% in the last 30 years.
This means big money for the banks that collect fees and interest.
Now, millions of young people are starting their adult lives with an average of $29,000 of loans on their backs.
Altogether, we're talking $1.2 trillion in student debt.
And more people are finding it impossible to pay them back. Welcome to the student debt crisis.
The increasing demand for higher education and cuts to state funding gave colleges a huge incentive to keep inflating prices.
I graduated about a year ago, currently in $35,000 of debt.
I am in debt about like $25,000.
I owe $23,000.
I owe over $50,000 in student loans.
38.8 million Americans owe money on a student loan.
And the biggest names in banking are making huge profits off the booming student loan industry. Sallie Mae, the largest provider of private student loans, made $949 million last year.
They only give you about 6 months to look for a job. You have to start paying back the loan. It's very pressuring, especially nowadays. It's very hard to find a job.
Over half of the students graduating in 2012 could not find a decent paying job.
They either had low-wage jobs or unpaid internships or were unemployed altogether.
So you can't make the payments. You start incurring late fees, which makes the loan even harder to pay off.
And it stays with you for years, even decades.
Right now, a third of the people who started repaying their loans are delinquent or in default.
That's 13.7 million people, more than the populations of Chicago, New York, and San Francisco combined.
Worse, it's not just the borrowers who are in trouble. Many loans require co-signers.
So if the student is unable to pay, that co-signer, a father, a mother, or a grandparent, is now on the hook.
Even a grandparent's Social Security benefits can be garnished to pay the loan.
We should have an answer to this. If you get really behind in your car payment or your credit cards, you can file for bankruptcy.
But Congress has made it nearly impossible to discharge student loans through bankruptcy.
Big institutions make big profits while students try to make ends meet under crushing debt.
Is this how we want our education system to work?
The whole point of going to college is to get the career you want. But lately I've been discouraged because no one can afford school. You get a job just to pay off your student loans.
We need higher education, not higher debt.
Sign up to end the student debt crisis at higherednotdebt.org.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Yes, it is the Bill Press Show. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press today. Coming up next, my dear, dear friend, Jonathan Levy, Democratic strategist, is going to be in studio with us. Go ahead and follow him now at Wolf Levy, the greatest name on Twitter. This whole struggle now for the votes on the TPP is pretty hilarious because it's all falling onto John Boehner. Nancy Pelosi yesterday had a great moment where she basically said, go get your own votes, buddy.
Every time we had a bill that came to the floor when I was Speaker, you said it was a test of my leadership. It's a test of his.
Bow!
I have confidence in him. I think he can deliver 200 of his members.
Look at Nancy Pelosi basically just telling John Boehner, kiss my ass! That's right. You go get your own votes. You go get your own votes. I love that.
That's pretty fierce.
That's exactly what he used to do. This is a test in her leadership. Get out of here. 866-55-PRESS is our phone number. Very, very, very quick break. Lots more show coming up next. So stay tuned, won't you?
This is the Bill Press Show.
Tune into Free Speech TV for Democracy Now!, a national, independent, award-winning news program bringing you people and perspectives rarely seen on corporate media.
I'm the retired bishop with the Episcopal Church as the bishop for all chaplains in federal service. I read that there was a group of people that represented a sense of injustice that I had. We'd lost Zuccotti. I mean, there was a kind of a hope that maybe Trinity Church would be gracious and give refuge. We picked this day where we would gather and demonstrate that Trinity was closing its ears to what was happening. We marched around the block, and I realized that, my goodness, they're carrying a ladder. And I thought, well, this is the moment. You could feel a spiritual presence. You could feel a certain something. And then the cops came in. It got brutal.
I'm with you right here. Robin, I'm here.
The church needed, in this moment in history, to stand alongside of these protesters. The truth of Christ is found in the pews, is found in the institutional church, but it is also found in the streets. It's found in the honesty and the integrity, the insistence of people that you find in Occupy Wall Street.
Tune in to Gay USA with hosts Ann Northrup and Andy Hum for in-depth coverage of lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender news. Watch Gay USA every week, only on Free Speech TV.
I'm a Pistons fan. Their slogan was, "We come to work." That's what Detroit about. That's why they used it. It's a team thing. They won 2 championships, a team. There was no star. No mayor can come in here and be a star. It's a team thing. No governors can come in here and think you can do it by yourself. It's a team thing. You got communities. They got ideas, too. The only thing wrong with Detroit, people have lost hope here. Residents, city workers, so much corruption. They lose hope. But I grew up here. I love this city. I think it can come back. I've been working for the city 24 and a half years. Within the last 10 years, we took 4 pay cuts, and then an additional 10% wage cut. I've lost a home.
When you take all of the decisions out of the city of Detroit, all of us, then what do you have? Exactly what we got. A lot of problems. Every time the city seems to fall into a problem, it's always on the backs of us workers.
You wake up out of a dead sleep and you jump behind the wheel and take off driving and try to get everybody there safe, not knowing really what you're pulling up to. I'm not eligible for Social Security, so the pension is my sole salary at this point.
We've been in business here 39 years. We've seen a lot of changes in Detroit. The area was a lot of industry, a lot of city workers. It's getting very tough for the city workers. It's getting tough for us as a business people.
Response times are increasing because of the closing of companies, which takes your insurance rate through the roof. So all the things that affect us affect the citizens.
I worked for the city in different capacities for 29 years. I feel like an old jacket. They use me up and they throw me away. In my condition, nobody's gonna hire me. I'm 68 years old. Half the times, I can't get my blood pressure medicine. It's either feeding myself, blood pressure, or paying bills.
$754. By the time they take all the deductions for I have my car insurance, my house insurance, and my health insurance taken out. So the time they take all that, I'll get about $300 after they take all that out. I don't understand it. I can't see how the governor's allowing this to happen and what they're doing and they want to blame it all on the seniors. Not only the seniors, but the city workers. And we worked hard. I know I worked hard.
I've been in Detroit since 1946. I was 14 years old when I came in. I don't live large at all. I wish I could. I don't know when the last time I've been shopping. I only get $1,100, and I'm 81 years old, and I need every penny that I can get and that I do get. And I'm very, very upset about the idea of them taking away my pensions that I worked 30 years for. I think it's terrible that they talk about Detroit like they do, because Detroit has been very good to me.
I have a lot of city workers coming in with their uniforms on, Detroit Water Department, Police Department, Fire Department. I get a lot of people, the Border Patrol come in. So if I lose that customer base, I'm going to be in a position where I might have to close down. If they take away their pensions, if they start cutting jobs, it's going to cut into a large percentage of not only our business, but other businesses that are in the city of Detroit. We're here. We've been here for 26 years. We're still trying to do business in the city.
Detroiters are survivors. They tough. They adapt. But only can do so much when your politicians are ahead of you and we're not on the same team. We're not going to let Detroit be erased, bulldozed to where we're going to fight to the bitter end. Detroit going to survive.
Nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show. Happy Friday, June 5th. It is National Donut Day. Did you know that, everyone? National Donut Day. Dunkin' Donuts is giving away a free donut with every purchase of a beverage. Krispy Kreme, I think, is doing the same thing. I just had a little blueberry cake donut.
Bloobs. Calling them bloobs now.
Isn't that a muffin? That's not a donut.
Time is money, man. Gotta shorten it up.
So did you buy every drink Dunkin' Donut has?
I went and I bought, we sent Jamie down. He bought like 6 cups of coffee and they just threw them down on the ground. But he got 6 free donuts. So my name is Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in for Bill Press today. I am joined for the rest of the program by my dear, dear friend, Jonathan Levy. He is Democratic strategist and former producer here on the show.
Yes, indeed.
He's the 5th Beatle of the Bill Press Show, as I've often referred to him.
Oh, man. That's rough.
Yeah, you're the Pete Best of the Bill Press Show. Running the board today is Elisa Murphy.
Hey,
Hi,
good
Elisa.
morning.
I say Elisa's running the board, but she's running the board. I brought my 360 instant replay machine in here.
Elisa, how did you let him do that?
What could possibly go wrong?
I have lost all power.
So when I introduce people now, I hype it up like a rap album. So like, Jamie Benson is screening your calls. 866-55-PRESS coming at you.
I got a meandering dissertation about free donuts as my hype up.
Here's your hype up. Jonathan. Sorry, buddy.
You really know how to get people going for a morning show here, Peter, I have to say.
Good morning, everyone. And if you're watching us, you are doing so because of the great, great work of Cyprian Bolding, who needs no introduction nor wacky sound effects.
Nor will he get them, except a big old silent pause.
Yeah, he gets. Oh, hey, Cyprian.
Oh man, that's
kidding.
jacked.
We couldn't do this.
Coming out of the woodwork.
Seriously, Elisa, I thought your entire job was to keep Peter away from things like this.
It's pretty great,
know.
Right?
Like, you're supposed to be the adult here.
Tables have shifted.
Yeah.
And we brought you in for the celebration.
That is the sound of all of our careers right after this show.
Anarchy all day long.
We are broadcast live on your favorite progressive talk radio station, also on the TuneIn app, using the Progressive Voices channel there. You can also find us on iHeartRadio. You can also find audio at BillPressShow.com, where you can also stream video, YouTube.com/TawkrTV, TawkrTV. And if you want to watch us, if you don't do the whole ... thing, you want to just watch us on your TV, you can do that on DirecTV or Dish Network if you watch Free Speech TV. Our number is 866-55-PRESS. I'd love to hear from you all. And you can follow us on Twitter. First of all, follow the show at BP Show. You can follow me at Peter Ogburn, and you can follow Jonathan at Wolf Levy. Still my favorite name on Twitter, I think.
And it's just my middle and last name.
It's pretty great.
I'm a blessed man, Peter,
You are
for a variety of reasons.
Blessed.
I am.
You are very hashtag blessed.
Hashtag
blessed.
I am emoji prayer hands.
Which, by the way, is not prayer hands. Did you know that?
It's high five.
It's a high five.
It's high five.
It's a high five. So if you see the emojis with the hands together, it's not prayer hands. It's a high five. I blew Jamie's mind. It's a high five. So all these people that say
that's what the official line is. That's what the man wants you to think, Peter. But we think outside the box. I know. And they look like prayer hands.
So everyone says like, rest in peace to my brother, blah, blah, blah. Prayer hands, it's like a high five.
Yeah, they're cheering the death of their brother. You are really bringing the happy and excitement to the beginning of this.
How we doing out
this
there?
Hour, Peter?
We good? Are we good?
Let's break some more stuff.
I'm also looking over at your coffee that you supposedly got to get free donuts. That is just milk and sugar, isn't it?
It's a lot of milk and sugar.
There is no actual coffee in there. Decaf. That's just milk.
Yeah, it's just basically just milk. This is really just milk. This is just milk and like bourbon. And this is all Kahlua. It's basically what it is. It's just pure Kahlua.
It's a morning. It's a morning. Not an Irish coffee, but it's like
Irish car bomb.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's what we're having. That's what we're having for breakfast. Just pure Irish car bombs. 7 a.m. on the East Coast. Hey, congratulations to a man, not quite a man, but a child near and dear to my heart, Latarian Milton. Well, I see he's not quite a man yet because he just graduated from middle school. Do you know who Latarian Milton is?
I have no idea, Peter.
You may remember him
because I did no work before coming on the show today.
Fair. You might remember him from an internet video about like 7 years ago or so. He is the 7-year-old child who stole a car and took it on a joyride.
Oh, no
Remember
kidding.
This kid?
Yeah.
This is where we originally met Latarian Milton. This is the news report with a little interview from young Latarian.
He started the vehicle and put it into gear.
I yanked the thing.
And off they went. 2 7-year-olds alone on the road. Latarian drove several miles through Lake Park and Palm Beach Gardens.
We got the one call that I told you about of a driver in the vehicle who looked too short to be able to see over the steering wheel.
Along the way, he ran over 2 mailboxes, hit 2 parked cars in a Costco parking lot, and struck 2 moving cars near Walmart.
I want to do it because it's fun. I want to do bad things. To drive into a car.
But did you know that you could perhaps kill somebody?
Yes, but I wanted to do hood rat stuff with my friend.
Latarian, we salute you, buddy.
The honesty.
Sometimes
I love
it's fun to do bad stuff.
From the mouth of babes.
Sometimes it's fun to do bad stuff. I just want to do hood rat stuff with my friends.
I got to say, he sort of sounds like how I drive.
Yeah, pretty much. I want to adopt that kid.
So he just graduated from middle school.
He just graduated from middle
school. First of all, that's a thing. You graduate from middle school.
Look, let's give the child some credit, okay? He's clearly turned his life around. He had a life of crime, of stealing cars, and doing hood rat stuff with his friends.
Right.
And now he's graduating middle school.
So the system works, is what you're saying.
The system works. That's exactly what I'm saying.
The system of internet celebrity and no consequences for your actions.
That's right. That's how it goes. Hey, so yesterday, 2016 news, Rick Perry announced he's running for president. He's the latest in the GOP nominees or the GOP group to actually go out there and take a stab at it. We know how well he did last time around when he was on the debate stage. In case you forgot, this is about a minute long, but it's so worth listening to because this is during the debate when Rick Perry completely lost his mind and forgot the 3 branches of government he wanted to get rid of.
Eliminate.
It's 3 agencies of government when I get there that are gone. Commerce, education, and the, what's the third one there? Let's see.
You need 5.
Oh, 5. Okay. So commerce, education, and EPA? EPA. There you go. No, okay.
Seriously? Is EPA the one you were talking about? Or?
No, sir. No, sir. We were talking.
No, sir. No, sir. He forgot.
About the agencies of government. EPA needs to be rebuilt. There's no doubt about that.
But you can't name the third one?
The third agency of government, yeah. I would do away with the education, commerce.
Oh, there it is.
And let's see. I can't. The third. Sorry. Oops.
There he is, Rick Perry.
Oops.
The classic oops. Well, he decided he was going to see if he could turn his luck around. Yesterday, he made it official.
I am running for the presidency of the United States of America.
He was up there with the two. So one of the guys, this guy Marcus Luttrell. Oh crap! What was the name of that movie we just talked about?
Lone Soldier.
Lone Survivor.
Lone Survivor. That's what it was.
He's the subject of this
This
movie.
is the Marky Mark movie.
Yeah, he was
Excuse me,
Mark
Wahlberg.
Whatever. Marky Mark played him. And he's like the last guy to get out.
It's an incredible story,
crazy story. It's insane.
But this is what Republicans seem to love.
Yeah.
These the made-for-movie soldier action stuff that they can then drape themselves in.
So we had Marcus Luttrell, this war hero, and his twin brother standing behind Rick Perry in Addison, Texas. And I don't know. I mean, it was hot. It must have been hot there because
in Texas.
Yeah,
in June,
right? They're like. The three of them are all just a total flop sweat. Where I don't know where he decided to hold his announcement exactly.
It's called freedom sweat, Peter.
Freedom sweat. You could grow tomatoes wherever he went. I mean, it's like it's so hot there. And so Rick Perry goes on and he talks about. I'm not sure what he's getting at.
Let's give them a president who leads us in the direction of our highest dreams, our best dreams, our highest hopes, and our greatest promise.
And then, of course, he goes on where he talks about dreams.
We want to promote families in America. Families is where our nation finds hope, where wings take dreams.
Where wings take dream.
Wings take dreams.
Where wings take dream.
Off to a rousing start. So from his
Perry does have that Bush quality.
Yeah, he does. Well,
without a doubt.
He's the former governor of Texas.
Yeah.
Rick Perry's entire rebranding from his oops moment seems to have been get glasses. Get hipster glasses.
Get hipster glasses.
That's. Did you see this like hipster girl standing behind him at one of the announcements, holding a big placard with just the glasses on it?
Yeah.
I love this. I think the tough talking former governor of Texas running for the Republican nominee should definitely run on a platform of Warby Parkers. I think this makes perfect sense.
It totally computes.
It speaks to the base, and it really conveys seriousness, because people with glasses, they don't forget things.
That's true.
That's why you're wearing glasses, and you don't actually have a vision problem.
And zero. This just helps me remember.
This is purely for the cameras, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, exactly.
It's part of the Rick Perry School of Media. Oh my God, you just went cross-eyed.
I just like to take my glasses off.
Oh my gosh.
Now and then I can...
That is scary. That is so scary. Put your glasses back on.
Sabrina's going to send me a screenshot of that later, and I'm going to have to murder him, is what's going to happen. I wear glasses solely so that I can do this. So I can like chew on the end of it, and while people talk.
No, you if you didn't look so cross-eyed and scary, you would look very intelligent with that.
God. But you remember the thing about Rick Perry, you remember when he ran for president last time, it was because he was a job creator.
Right.
Which was a myth. Poof. Pure fantasy.
Wait, are you telling me that a Republican lied about creating jobs?
That's what I'm telling you, buddy.
But they're makers, not takers.
I know. I'll have to hold your hand and walk you through it a little bit later. I know it's tough to believe, buddy.
With your eyes like that, you don't ever get to touch me again.
He made this whole job creator thing up, but he's not a job creator anymore. He's coming back as a man who knows most about foreign affairs and the military.
Look, I'll give him this. Compared to the current governor of Texas, who is currently convinced that Obama wants to invade Texas, Rick Perry seems, by comparison, like he at least understands the basic principles of what the hell's going on.
That's a good point.
So, when you lower the bar enough, maybe a pair of glasses is all you need.
We'll talk more about the GOP side of things, but I wanted to jump into Hillary Clinton, who gave a little speech of her own yesterday. And I love, by the way, this part of the campaign where people are just kind of like throwing haymakers out there and just see what happens. Right? You had Link Chafee when he announced, we're going back to the metric system. That's what he actually said.
You really think that's a haymaker?
Well, haymakers maybe, what I guess what I'm trying to say is just they're throwing anything out there and just seeing what sticks, right? The metric system is clearly defensible. Like, he can defend that.
It's also a really pressing concern for, the 5.7% of Americans who are out of work, the high number of people living below the poverty line, people concerned about income inequality. The inequity actually gets less if you convert it to metrics.
What an optimist! Well, you should get into this whole spin business.
I'm really on the Lincoln Chafee bandwagon here.
Yeah. He should reach out to you. Well, Hillary Clinton yesterday brought up a very, very interesting point about voter registration. Here's the first clip.
Today, I'm calling for universal, automatic voter registration. Every citizen in every state in the union.
What's wrong with that idea?
Nothing. There's one reason and one reason only that it is not accepted by everyone, and that's because Republicans know if everybody gets registered, Democrats start winning by huge margins. Yeah. That's it. When more people are heard, when those who are less represented in our process have more opportunity to speak, suddenly we become more progressive.
Hillary Clinton goes on to sort of make that point a little bit.
Today, Republicans are systematically and deliberately trying to stop millions of American citizens from voting. What part of democracy are they afraid of?
How about that?
They're afraid of the part where people vote.
People vote.
Yeah, more people vote.
The whole voting thing that they have a problem with is the actual voting.
Yes. No, that's exactly it. I got to say, I love hearing this from her.
Yeah.
She has been out there with a huge amount of really unabashed, populist, liberal, progressive rhetoric. And I don't know if this is because of Bernie Sanders. I don't know if this is just sort of a, hey, you know what? This is my last one. I got nothing left to lose.
Yeah.
I'm saying what it is. Whatever it is, I like this Hillary. I'm excited about it. And I think it's great that Bernie Sanders is in the race and pushing her in this way. And I think it's great she's coming out and these aren't mealy-mouthed weasel words. This isn't Clinton triangulation. This is strong progressivism.
I wanted to make that point because Hillary has, and in a lot of cases, rightfully so, taken the rap that she tries to have it both ways and tries to play both sides of the issue. I think that's fair on a lot of things. But this is a clear shot and a clear idea that people can get behind and will really piss off Republicans.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of love that.
It's great. And this is not the first thing she's come out and talked about.
Right.
She was talking about, she gave a fabulous speech a couple weeks ago about prison reform and changing the problems with mass incarceration in this country. Again, these are not issues you normally hear at the beginning of a presidential campaign.
Right.
But it's the benefit, first of all, of having her as a completely known quantity. She doesn't have to introduce herself.
Exactly.
She is just coming out with solid ideas that are going to make this country better. And I'm excited.
We have to take a break. 21 minutes past the hour. Peter Ogburn and Jonathan Levy sitting in for Bill Press today. We're going to take a very, very quick break. We'd love to get your calls at 866-55-PRESS, 866-557-7377. We're talking about the automatic voter registration idea that Hillary Clinton put out there yesterday. Do you like it? Will it ever happen? 866-557-7377.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends, good to see you today. I hope you're enjoying this show. Now, look, let's take a little time out. And I got to tell you, friends, I love you, but I got a big beef with you today. I mean, come on. We are a couple of days already into our pledge drive. We're here at the end of the week, and we're not feeling the love at this end yet. Come on. I know you don't like hearing me remind you to make your pledge to Free Speech TV any more than I like having to remind you. But the fact is, we got a great thing going here called Free Speech TV, the only progressive 24-hour cable channel anywhere in this country. We got a great thing going. We want to keep it going, and the only way we can keep it going is with your help. So, come on, stop farting around. Let's make your pledge today. Do it today before the weekend, and please, as generous as you can. Just think what you get for your pledge. First of all, you get me and Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and Amy Goodman and David Packman and all the other great hosts on Free Speech TV in your home every day, plus the great documentaries that Free Speech provides as well to fill out the programming. With all of that, that in and of itself is worth making the pledge for. But if you need an extra little incentive, here are a couple of things you ought to consider. If you can just help us with $60, we will send you one of these very fun little stamps that you can put on your checks, on your dollar bills or whatever, that say, not to be used for bribing politicians. Help us out with $120. That's just $10 a month. And we'll send you a copy of John Nichols' great book on money in politics called Dollarocracy. For $240 or $20 a month, you get the stamp, not to be used for bribing politicians, please, and a copy of Dollarocracy. And for $360, you get the whole enchilada, the stamp, not to be used for bribing politicians, copy of John Nichols' book, Dollarocracy, and a Free Speech TV baseball cap. A special gift out there. And remember, I know you've seen that other video with Craig Teer from out in Michigan, drove all the way here to make his $500 pledge and to challenge you to match you or you and your friends to match his pledge of $500. So lots of reasons to do it. And if you can help with the big $1,000, if you're capable of doing that, you make the pledge to Free Speech TV, then get yourself to Washington with a friend. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, and we'll bring you into studio the next morning to meet the team, have some district donuts, and have a good time here. So make your pledge today. Come on, please. We need it. Do it before the weekend. Here's a number, 877-378-8669, 877-378-8669, or just go to freespeech.org. We need your help. We want to feel your love today. Thank you.
What the frack?
What the frack?
What the frack?
What the frack?
President Obama, are you fracking kidding me?
Reopen the EPA studies. In Texas, Wyoming, and Pennsylvania.
Fracking pollutes our oceans.
Fracking poisons our water.
Fracking makes climate change worse.
Fracking relies on toxic chemicals that cause cancer.
Ban fracking now.
Ban fracking now.
Go on. Ban it.
Ban fracking now.
Please.
Connect with The Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is The Bill Press Show.
It is The Bill Press Show. Peter Ogburn and Jonathan Levy sitting in for Bill Press today. Here I am on my formerly nicotine-stained fingers, the front page of the Washington Post. Al-Qaeda rising in Syria and Yemen. That is right at the top there. Jonathan, what does this even mean?
Well, I mean, the Middle East, no surprise, is in chaos right now. We're seeing a resurgence of Al-Qaeda. We're seeing ISIS making large gains in certain areas. But the sort of amazing thing here at home is we're seeing a different kind of resurgence, and that's of the lead up to the Iraq War talking points.
Oh, man.
L. Paul Bremer, the man who ran the occupation in Iraq, who is responsible for de-Baathification, which is one of the major contributing factors to ISIS. The majority of ISIS's top leaders now are former Ba'athist members, is on TV every day talking about how he's going to fix this. You see Rick Santorum, who was one of the big, cheerleaders leading up to the Iraq War, beating the same drums and the same exact talking points. You hear Bill Kristol and all these other neocon hawks, and it's like you've hopped into a time machine.
There's a quote. I was trying to find the quote because The Hill had the story yesterday about Lindsey Graham, who's running for president, senator from South Carolina. I know. Yeah. Pause.
Sorry, I just have to laugh every time I hear that.
Obligatory gut buster laughing. But he said something like, I'm trying to find the actual quote, but he said, if you're weary of war, don't vote for me. Like, he's ready to go back to war. What? He's ready to go to
That's war. An honest politician.
He's honest. He's insane.
Bomb them all.
He's insane, but he's honest. Peter Ogburn and Jonathan Levy sitting in for Bill Press. Very quick break. We will be right back with Megan Garber from The Atlantic. Stay tuned.
This is The Bill Press Show.
All right, folks, just a little time out. Hope you're enjoying the show today. A little time out here to tell you again and get your about Free Speech TV and get your help. And, you know, we reach out to you, all of our viewers around the country, during these pledge drives, ask you to help. And we're so grateful when you do. And it's very rare, though, we get a chance to thank one of you actually in person. So we welcome to the show today and to our studio Craig Teer, all the way from Chelsea, Michigan, a regular Free Speech viewer and a very generous contributor to Free Speech. Craig, it's good to see you.
It's good to be here, Bill.
Thank you for coming in all the way from Chelsea, Michigan. I know last year we met because you were made a $1,000 pledge. You and your daughter came. Carol and I, we all went out to dinner together, had a good time. That was a lot of fun.
Had a great time.
Right. And it's good to see you back. So tell us again, why do you really like Free Speech TV?
Free speech to me is the dream come true. It's television without commercials, plain and simple.
Yeah. And you like the people and obviously in the content on Free Speech?
All of the regular programs plus all of the special programs you can't find anyplace else on the television set.
It's the one progressive television channel people don't realize is maybe in the country, right? 24/7, where you can always count on going there and hearing good stuff from a progressive point of view.
This is true. It's 24 hours a day. All of the programs are great to watch, intellectually stimulating, and have great progressive concepts.
Well, we wouldn't be here without people like you, and I want to thank you again personally. And you're back today because you want to make another pledge and challenge people to meet it, right?
That's right. I would like to pledge a half of my net worth, 0.5% of my net worth, to match the Koch brothers' donation to the GOP. So I am committing $500.
Great.
To the Free Speech TV, and hope that your listeners can match that.
I think that's a great challenge, all right? So there you go. There's $500 from Craig Teer today. You can match that yourself or a couple of you, 2 or 3 of you. Get together, get your family members together, and match this pledge so Craig doesn't feel alone. And we have the help we need on Free Speech to get going. And, of course, you know the way to do so, Craig, you certainly do, is give us a call at 877-378-8669. Number again, 877-378-8669. Or just go to freespeech.org, freespeech.org. And, Craig, the other thing I want to congratulate you on, you are a pioneer in solar energy. I know you have a solar-powered car right now. So you're doing so many great things. You know,
I've been doing this for most of my life, wind and solar energy, and supporting environmental groups and organizations that promote solar energy.
Well, so good of you to do that, and so good of you to come in. And thanks again for your help for Free Speech TV. And match Craig Teer's $500 grant. Thank you, Craig.
It's so important. Thank you.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Bill Press Show. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press today. I do this myself. So I brought in Jonathan Levy, Democratic strategist. Very, very good friend of the show, and to sit in for the most of the program, the final 2 hours of the program.
The first hour seems really early.
I'm not going to make you come in for the first hour. That's a lot to add. That's a big ask.
I did it for a long time. When we first started this show, back in the glory days.
You used to go way above and beyond. You used to get up in the middle, like literally in the middle.
I would get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Turn on the TiVo. We had a TiVo with DVD burners on it.
Hey, kids, let me tell you what a DVD is.
Let me tell you what TiVo is.
Yeah.
And go through 6 hours of Fox News every morning to find clips for us to then pull when I got to the studio and then play. Oh. It was back in my day. I even walked to work without shoes on.
And look at you now. It's like a scene from The Clockwork Orange, right?
Yes.
Like you're just sitting there having to watch Fox News things.
Exactly.
Hours on
it aged me about 10 years beyond my actual age.
So you turned out just
broken.
Fine. Broken and a mere husk of a man.
Yes.
Hey,
what a husk I am.
I want to talk to you a little bit about.
I want to talk to you a little bit, Peter.
Oh, hi. I want to talk to you a little bit about the Duggars, the Duggar family. We have a guest here joining us here in just a couple moments, Megan Garber, writer for The Atlantic. But for those of you who don't know who the Duggars are.
And I'm only tangentially familiar with
Okay,
this.
good.
So explain to me, Peter, and enlighten the audience.
Pull up a chair. I'll spin you a yarn about the Duggars.
Let me just light the fire quickly.
So I remember a couple years ago, TLC did a feature on this weird, wacky family. He's a former politician from Arkansas, Jim Bob Duggar.
TLC, the Learning Channel?
Yes. Air quotes.
Yeah.
The Learning Channel.
The biggest air quotes there are.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, that's why I did them. I have very meaty hands. The Duggars on the TLC.
Where America's garbage gets its own show.
That's right. So they did this profile of this family that had them a bunch of kids, right? And they homeschool their kids. They literally have.
I'm sorry, define a bunch of kids. Are we talking about 6, 7?
At the time, I think it was like 13 or 14. This was many, many years ago. And they just kept spawning up until they get another, like their full-blown show called 19 Kids and Counting.
I assume every child boosts the ratings, so.
Yeah, every single child is a little point on the Nielsen scale.
Mm-hmm.
So it turns out that one of their children, Josh Duggar, all of their children, by the way, have names that start with the letter J. Just you need to know that.
So I could be adopted.
You could be adopted, Jonathan.
Except for probably one small problem.
You could join Ginger, which starts with a J in that family, and Josiah and Jedediah. And
I'm sorry. Ginger with a J is an atrocity.
It's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. So Josh, it turns out he was molesting young girls, and some of them were his actual his sisters. The story gets out there. Turns out he was 14 and 15 and maybe even 16 at the time, but he was in that age range. So to find out a little bit more about that story, we've invited Megan Garber. She's a writer for The Atlantic. She joined us on the phone. Follow her on Twitter, at Megan Garber, Megan Garber. Megan, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us. So I want to talk to you about specifically the interview that the Duggar family has done with Megyn Kelly and their sort of damage control, if you will, because they're really reframing what has happened. They're calling it improper touching. They talked about they brought out tonight they're going to have the daughters, two of the girls who were assaulted by Josh Duggar, who say, oh, he's not such a bad guy. They're really running damage control on this sexual molester. So
right.
How are they doing that?
Yeah, I mean, well, first of all, they emphasize that, they're very good parents. That was one of the key talking points of the interview. We did everything we could. We thought about what was best for Josh, what was best for the girls, all these ideas. And they were just very insistent, that we're good parents and we did what we had to do in the situation. A lot of people would disagree and say that they did not do enough. But, that was one of the talking points. And then just the idea that they're the victims in all of this, that, someone is sort of out to get them and so leak this information about Josh in the first place to the media. So that was another element of things. And then just the idea that they're, trying to sort of say a lot of families are like us. This is actually much more common than you think, and this is not as unusual as it seems. And, this idea that a boy will molest his sisters. They say, well, we've heard from a lot of families that actually, has happened with them. And so now they're sort of painting themselves as role models for, this kind of problematic behavior and saying, actually we're quite common. And, it's kind of amazing.
It was so weird to watch this interview, which, by the way, like 90% of the answers were answered by Jim Bob Duggar, while Michelle sat there with this dead behind the eyes look, staring at him, which is part of their religion. She doesn't get a say in all of this. Mm-hmm. Which I want to get to because, this religious extremism that they're a part of, when they say, they said that they sent Josh off to get some treatment. They sent him off to a family friend who was going to help them. And one of the documents that comes from this group that they sent their child to, it's called the Institute in Basic Life Principles, and they have a document called Counseling Sexual Abuse, where the guide instructs victims to ask themselves, why did God let this happen?
Oh, man.
And offers potential reasons like immodest dress, indecent exposure, and being with evil friends. In other words,
other people's fault.
Yes.
The victim's fault.
The victim's fault.
There is a little bit. I was reading, as one does, I was reading Michelle Duggar's blog.
Wait, she has a blog?
She has a blog on TLC, yes. And it's really interesting because it comes from a place of, I'm trying to explain my point of view and my lifestyle to other people, and, this is how I sort of see the world, and it's, it is sort of an interesting background document to the show. But she was talking about bathing suits and why she doesn't let her daughters wear bathing suits. And one of the reasons was that it could, inspire lust in other people. So just that same idea that, women have a responsibility not to provoke men, basically. And that's, the same kind of logic that we're seeing with this. Yeah, it's someone else's fault if you do something wrong.
It's crazy, man.
You should always shame women about their bodies. It's the way to protect
I agree.
them.
Yes.
There seems to be another aspect to this whole story, which is Fox News seems to be running with it like crazy. And there is something unsavory about a network using a family, a really quite disturbed family and, sexual molestation for ratings. Is there anyone talking about that side of it? Is anyone calling Fox out on this?
Oh, that's great. I haven't actually seen anything like that. That's a really good point.
They're just letting it happen.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think to some extent we're used to cable news doing this sort of thing. You think about CNN and the Malaysian air crash and or the disappearance, I should say. We don't know if it's a crash, but
right.
So I think every network will have its moment of sort of running with the story and sort of making it its own, and it makes sense. Given the fact that the Duggars are conservative, that it would probably be on Fox News. So, but it's a really good question. I haven't seen anyone really questioning it. And I know it's been quite a boon for Megyn Kelly, who got these, exclusive interviews.
Oh, they've got it. They've got it split up into a couple of days. They had the Jim Bob and Michelle the other night. They've got Hey, can you pull that clip of the daughters, by the way, Elisa? Because the daughters are going to be on tonight. It's Jessa and Jill are two of the daughters that sat down with Megyn Kelly. Both of them were molested, and just listen to how they talk about their brother who molested them.
Do you feel like the victim of a molestation?
I do want to speak up in his defense against people who are calling him a child molester or a pedophile or a rapist, some people are saying. I'm like, that is so overboard and a lie, really. I mean, people will get mad at me for saying that, but I'm like, I can say this, I was one of the victims.
Anyone who ever has any kind of argument with you about the rape culture in this society, I mean, that clip is jaw-dropping. So what's the future for the Duggars? What happens next?
Yeah, I don't think anyone quite knows. I mean, TLC has been very quiet about the future of the show. I mean, I think for them, it's such a hard thing because now, interest in the Duggars is probably higher than it's ever been.
Yeah.
But, from this very, sort of sad news. And so I think they're probably in a quandary. They want their ratings, obviously, but they don't want to, encourage this kind of behavior. So they've been really quiet. The Duggars themselves have said, well, if they cancel us or not cancel us, we don't care. We're just going to go on living our lives. It doesn't matter to us. But, of course, it does matter to some extent. They've gotten a lot of media from just being on TV and everything. So yeah, I think it's unclear. I mean, they say they'll just go on living their lives and be fine, but I think one story I've heard is that TLC might actually focus on the daughters more, and on the children and then the grandchildren of Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar, and so that might be one route. But yeah, I don't think anyone quite knows what the future holds for them.
Hey, Megyn, thank you so much for joining us. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Now, make sure you follow her on Twitter at Megyn Garber. She is a writer for The Atlantic. Great stuff there, and just a terrifying story that is apparently not going away because they're going to be on Fox News again tonight. My name is Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in for Bill Press. I've got Jonathan Levy with me. We've got lots more show coming up. Stay tuned.
Hey, what do you say, friends and neighbors? Good morning. Good morning. I've got one question for you. That's all today. Have you made your pledge yet? If not, why not? Come on. You know that we need your help. We really, really do count on your help. We couldn't do it without you. So we ask you to make your pledge today. You know how it works around here. I mean, Free Speech TV, in a sense, free speech isn't. I mean, at least in one sense, free speech isn't, because yes, we are free to say whatever we want without any censorship, without any corporate editorial pressure. We are, as a result of having no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money, we can bring you every day just the freewheeling, independent, unafraid, good, strong, progressive analysis and commentary that you like. That's why you tune in. Certainly, we are free to do that every day. But, you know, it's not free to produce the programming, not free to create the programming, not free to get this program out to you every day, 24/7. That's where we need your help because, again, without any corporate funds, without any government funds, we don't even seek them, without any Koch brothers funds, we could not just be here every day. We totally depend on your help and your pledges, and now's the time to make them. If you can help us with just $60, we'll send you a very fun item. That's just $5 a month. Send you a very fun item, a little stamp that says not to be used for bribing politicians, just to raise the issue of all this excess obscene money in politics. For $120 a month, $120, $10 a month, send you a copy of John Nichols' great new book about the evil of money in politics called Dollarocracy. We don't have a democracy, we have a dollarocracy, says John Nichols. For $20 a month or $240 pledge, we'll send you that stamp plus the book by John Nichols, and step it up to $30 a month, $360 a year. How about it? You get the stamp, not used for bribing politicians. You get the book by John Nichols, Dollarocracy, and a free speech baseball cap as well. For those of you who can make a very special gift of $1,000, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will join you for dinner one night, take you out to dinner here at one of our great restaurants on Capitol Hill, and then you can come in the next morning, meet our team. We'll get some donuts in, and you can be part of the program that following morning. At any rate, the most important thing is Free Speech TV. We can only bring you that freewheeling commentary if you make your pledge, and we urge you again, we really need your help. Do it now. Don't put it off any longer. You can get to the end of the program and feel satisfied that Free Speech TV is there today because of your pledge that you make today. Thank you.
Connect with The Bill Press Show on Twitter. Follow us at BP Show and tweet using the hashtag WatchingBP. This is The Bill Press Show.
Hello, everyone. Friday, June 5th. It is The Bill Press Show. Peter Ogburn and Jonathan Levy sitting in for Bill Press today while he is out. We've got a lot of good show coming up. We've got Jessica Taylor from NPR is going to be in studio at the top of the next hour, talking 2016. And then we also have someone from the Fund for Alexandria's Child, a great fundraiser coming up this weekend here in town. And they're going to come in and talk to us about it. And what the hell, they're going to give us some booze, right? They're going to feed us some drinks that you can find at the fundraiser. We'll have all the details on that in just a few moments. So, Jonathan, I want to talk to you about Caitlyn Jenner.
Yes.
Which has dominated. Talk about break the internet.
Yeah.
Caitlyn Jenner, who graced the cover of Vanity Fair magazine in a photo spread by Annie Leibovitz.
Mm-hmm.
The story done by Buzz Bissinger, which...
Fascinating.
America.
Yeah.
What is going on? It's the Vanity Fair cover of what was formerly Bruce Jenner, who is now Caitlyn Jenner, shot by Annie Leibovitz in a story written by Buzz Bissinger. Okay, sure. All right.
It's a big bang of culture.
It's a lot going on.
And it's that is being felt by a lot of people around the country. And we've seen conservatives sort of freaking out about it. We've seen a lot of folks in the LGBT community excited about this. Jon Stewart had a different take on it, which I thought was fascinating.
Fascinating take.
Which was that, yes, great. Welcome, Caitlyn Jenner. Now you can be objectified like an American woman.
It went from zero to sexist. It's so fast.
So quickly.
So fast.
So quickly.
Oh, she's hot.
And
what is her? Who did her makeup? Oh, she looks like such and such. Oh, what a great outfit she's wearing.
But that is the sign of a true cultural touchstone.
Yeah.
A moment that does. You look through, and it's a prism, and you see a variety of different angles from it. And we're seeing some amazing stuff, some of the best of American culture come out of this. I really, as a gay man, I have been touched and excited by a lot of the response I've seen. The President of the United States tweeted the picture of Caitlyn out saying, "Welcome, Caitlyn."
Yeah.
That's a huge
It's a big
thing.
deal.
That's not something small. But on the other end, we've seen some real vitriol as, it's the thrashing as you see the right sort of lose the culture wars and not understand what has happened to their America.
That's an interesting point on the culture war stuff because, look, the transgender issue is one that's not that familiar to a lot of people, even people who are supportive, right? Like
Laverne Cox from Orange is the New Orange is the New Black was on the cover of Time magazine 1 year ago. I believe that was the first trans woman or man to grace a major magazine cover as the subject of a story. That was just a year ago.
That's amazing.
It's a big deal to have this move at this speed.
So what does that mean for the future? I don't want to turn it all into politics, but like the culture war is a big part of the political scene and is a big part of how we consume news. How does that play into things?
Well, I think it remains to be seen. We've seen with gay marriage a tectonic shift that's gone at a speed that's unbelievable. But if you remember, 11 years ago in 2004, in the 2004 election, gay marriage was the wedge issue that Karl Rove created to help drive the Republican vote. There was fear around it. It was not actually an issue that was discussed. Now, I think there's something to be said that may have been actually a catalyst for moving gay marriage this quickly because it wasn't something people had thought about much. And then after a few years, people were like, and shows like Modern Family coming on, people were like, well, this seems silly that we're fighting about this.
Yeah.
Love is love.
Yeah.
But that was 11 years ago that it was a wedge issue. And now, you have Marco Rubio saying, I'm going to go to a gay wedding. So it's hard to see exactly how this will go. I think the trans issue is going to be a harder one for folks to wrap their head around.
It
is an unfamiliar circumstance to a lot of people. And that's why Caitlyn Jenner is so important. She has come out and shared her story in a very genuine and surprising way. Mm-hmm. I was nervous when I first heard about all this happening before the Diane Sawyer interview, that there was going to be real, this was going to be the Kardashian clan sort of reality TV razzmatazz. And it's been handled in a beautiful and informative and touching way.
Okay, now all of that being said, I agree with every word that just came out of your mouth. But Caitlyn Jenner now has a reality TV show. Right. Caitlyn Jenner is going to get a reality TV show. It's going to be on E! It's going to be in the style of the Kardashians. And the first promo that came out shows Caitlyn Jenner doing girly things with the makeup and the clothes and the gowns and all that stuff. And I think that I can be supportive of Caitlyn Jenner and supportive of everything that she stands for, while also just like having had just a little too much of the Kardashian overexposure, people having a camera on you at all aspects and all points of your life.
I think that's perfectly fair, and I think there's something to be said about judging her for being, a media whore as opposed to being, a public transgender woman. That actually, when you
that's
cross
really quality.
When you cross over into just being like, oh, that's garbage television.
Yeah.
There may be something behind that, but it's it sparked a conversation that's really kind of incredible in this country, and it's it's one that needs to be had. This is the next frontier on civil rights is trans rights in this country, and you still have people like Mike Huckabee coming out and saying things like, if I was in high school and I knew I could tell the coach that I wanted to dress like a girl, I'd go shower with them.
Yuck.
Because
that joke belongs like back in the 6th grade, right?
Yeah, 6th grade in the 1950s.
In the 1950s, right.
But, it's a fundamental misunderstanding of what gender identity is, and people are learning now.
Yeah. Good conversation, Jonathan. Thank you so much for being here. You're going to stick around with us for the rest of the program. We got a lot more good stuff coming up, so stay with us here on The Bill Press Show. Peter Ogburn and Jonathan Levy sitting in for Bill Press. Quick break. We'll be right back.
This is The Bill Press Show.
Right now, big banking, software, pharmaceutical, and tobacco corporations are lobbying governments from 12 countries to negotiate the dirtiest deal you've never heard of. There's a reason you haven't heard of the TPP or Trans-Pacific Partnership. There are some major corporations and government officials that don't want you to know what's in the deal. For one, our food safety standards, environmental protections, and local labor laws could all be threatened under the TPP. We could all be forced to pay significantly more for the medicines we need, and you could be fined or even sent to jail for downloading copyrighted content on the internet. How will they know if you do it? Because your internet service providers could be required to watch your online activity. But that's not the scariest part. The TPP gives corporations the power to sue our government in secret tribunals over any law or regulation they claim affects their expected future profits. Don't believe it? It's already happening. Recently, after our government said an American pharma corporation's drug price-raising patents were not legit, the firm sued Canadian taxpayers for a staggering $500 million. And a U.S. fracking company sued us when the Quebec government put a moratorium on shale gas development to study its impacts. These deals will stop us from making our own common sense laws for fear of lawsuits. Thankfully, not everyone is willing to sign on the dotted line just yet. In fact, most government officials still have no idea what they're even signing on to, for good reason. In the U.S., Democrats and Republicans alike are uniting to oppose a fast tracking of the TPP, demanding open debates and negotiations instead. Elected officials in Canada and everywhere should be doing this, and it's our job to make sure they start showing some backbone. Here's the deal. Without a strong public outcry, politicians will only hear the concerns of multinational corporations. And once the TPP is signed, it's here forever. There's no expiration date and no separation clause. This dirty deal has been deliberately branded as a free trade agreement. It is anything but free for people like you and me. And it's not really about trade. It could cost us our internet freedom, labor rights, access to affordable medicine, the safety of our food, and protections that keep our water and air clean. Nobody wants to be struck with a backroom deal we don't want and never voted for. Find out more, speak up, and spread the word.
This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show. Peter Ogburn and Jonathan Levy sitting in for Bill Press today. This is where we talk about the president's schedule, which is pretty light today. 9:30 is the pool call time, and then 10:30 the president receives a presidential daily briefing. At 12:30 there's a press briefing by Josh Earnest, and that's it. That's it. Of course, this weekend the president will be going to Delaware. He's going to be giving the eulogy at the funeral services for Beau Biden, which good Lord, yesterday the photos coming out from the Biden family and Joe Biden.
Where he wouldn't take his hand off his son's casket as he talked to anybody. It was emotional, moving, and
I read a thing about Beau Biden's Secret Service detail that he had from the time that he served will not leave his casket until he's put in the ground. This is going to be this weekend. They stay winning this whole time. It's heartbreaking. It's the Bill Press Show. We got a lot more stuff coming up. Stay tuned.
This is the Bill Press Show.
What they told us we were doing was going to rid the state of frivolous lawsuits. So we said, okay, let's vote for this.
Leading up to the 2003 effort in Texas, the insurance companies primarily, but also the medical industry, started this drumbeat. They were alleging that medical malpractice lawsuits were soaring and the cost of healthcare was going way up. They barraged the citizens of Texas with these frightening, scary messages that we were in some sort of crisis. But the reality was that simply wasn't true.
One of the things I think the public doesn't fully understand is that lawsuits are about a lot more than just seeking compensation for an individual plaintiff. By giving damages to the individual, the jury is sending a message about safety to the doctors, the nurses, the hospital. Please change your ways. Make healthcare safer to protect all of us.
Bill and Kelly Putnam experienced a nightmare scenario. They're in the nursing home with their father. The nurse administers medication improperly. As a result, he started to choke on the medication, and Kelly was forced to provide CPR on her father while staff at the nursing home did nothing.
I was probably 6 inches away from my dad's eyes. He's no longer thrashing. He's no longer moving.
And so they took him to the hospital, they worked on him, cause of death, aspiration. Texas Board of Nursing ruled that the nurse not only did what we said she did, but she also said that the facility had her destroy the medical records for that day and create a new version. I decided to give a lawyer friend a call. I went through probably 10, maybe more. All of them I got the same letter back stating that because of tort reform, we cannot afford to litigate these types of cases.
What the 2003 restrictions did was make it economically unfeasible for most attorneys to take most medical malpractice cases. It's a cynical attempt to make it harder for people to go to court by making it harder for them to get representation.
I do remember when Patricia Whitman first contacted me, because as a cardiologist, I was pretty outraged when I looked at the medical records.
Patricia Whitman visited the emergency room complaining of chest pains. They look at her EKG. Doctor says, no, you've got indigestion, go home. The symptoms persist. Next day she goes in, sees a different physician. She's been having a heart attack.
Anyone looking at the EKG in a patient with chest pain has to consider that that patient is having an acute heart attack until proven otherwise. All of these abnormalities were essentially ignored, and a diagnosis of acid reflux was made in Patricia Whitman's case, and that was the wrong diagnosis.
The doctor came in and he said that I had substantial permanent heart damage and that I was, quote unquote, 100% disabled. Prior to the heart attack, I had a 3,500 square foot home that I took care of, and I was on my feet 8 hours a day going to cosmetology school. Then I would come home and cook for my kids and do whatever else needed to be done. I did it all. After the heart attack, I couldn't keep up with the house. I couldn't pay the mortgage. My life has changed a lot. I will never be able to do what I used to do. I have to depend on 5 heart medications that I have to take every day in order to survive. This is a letter from one attorney. It would be difficult to prove that the ER physician's conduct rose to the level of gross negligence. No attorney would take my case.
Tort reform involved a specific passage of language that said that a simple negligence standard no longer applied to emergency room care in Texas. The new standard was a gross negligence standard called willful and wanton negligence.
You have to prove in court that that doctor saw me walk through the door and said, that's my next victim. And of course that doesn't happen. And so people like Patricia Whitman, who find themselves in the emergency room and are misdiagnosed or harmed, face almost no ability for accountability. If you look back and you break down the arguments made by the insurance companies and medical industry about the cost, quality, access of healthcare in Texas, by every metric, we're worse off today than we were 10 years ago. It has made life better and easier for a small group of corporate interests at the expense of the rest of us.
These corporations, they have no fear because they know that they're not going to be held responsible. It shouldn't be about money. But unfortunately, that's the only language these people speak. That's why we're out protesting.
We will stand out on the street in front of the facility with signs that state what happened and make sure that they understand that we're not going to go away and that what they did was wrong.
We must restore meaningful accountability in this state so that another family does not go through the same nightmare that they've been through. If enough people in the public say enough is enough, then politicians have to think twice. We're never going to be able to compete with the special interests in terms of campaign contributions and money. Where we have to compete with them is in boots on the ground. The more people that rise up and say, we want our rights back, then they have to think about it. And once we've made them think about it, then half the battle is won.
Broadcasting around the nation, on your radio, on your TV, and online. This is The Bill Press Show.
It is The Bill Press Show. My name is Peter Ogburn, sitting in for Bill Press today on this Friday, June 5. Thank you all so much for being there, however you're consuming the show. You're streaming audio. We're on your favorite progressive talk radio station. We're on Free Speech TV on the Dish Network or DirecTV. And we're also streaming video at youtube.com/TawkrTV, TAWKRTV. I am joined by Jonathan Levy, who's been here for the past hour. He's going to stick around for this hour as well. Jonathan,
I will
good
not
to see
leave.
you. He will not leave.
There's no getting rid of me, Peter.
Running the board is Elisa Murphy. Good morning, Elisa.
Hey, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. If you call our phone number, the number is 866-55-PRESS, 866-557-7377. You will talk to Jamie Benson, who is standing by. And, of course, if you're watching us on either TawkrTV or DirecTV, on Free Speech TV, you are doing so because of the great work of Cyprian Bolding, who is here. Now, we've been talking some 2016 today. I thought we should bring in a professional to help us talk about it. She is Jessica.
Neither you or I are qualified.
No, we are not qualified at all.
Bill walked out of the studio and we just seized microphones.
She is lead digital political reporter for NPR. Jessica Taylor, congratulations on the new gig, by the way.
Thank you. Thanks.
Welcome to the world of radio.
Yes.
Isn't it wonderful? Come on in. The water's fine. Glad you could join us.
The growth industry of radio.
Yeah. So you should follow Jessica on Twitter, by the way, at Jessica Taylor, not only for her great political insights, but because she picked up yesterday that the Rick Perry campaign logo looks a lot like the Popeyes fried chicken logo.
Exactly like Popeyes.
It is such a good observation. I saw it and it was just like, boom, nailed me.
Wait, are you kidding me?
It looks exactly like Popeyes.
I've just followed you right as we're talking here. And now
you got to go find it because she's got a shot chaser thing with the Popeyes logo and the Perry logo. It's pretty great.
Yeah, it's
pretty
great.
Oh, man.
Right? That is fabulous.
Isn't that great?
Good
I
eyes.
do love fried chicken.
I also appreciate someone who can spot fried chicken branding.
Yeah,
anywhere
right?
they go.
I'm all about it.
I'm from Tennessee, so
Yeah. You gotta
You're from
know.
Tennessee. I was in Tennessee for 6 hours yesterday. My first time ever. I tried hot chicken.
Yeah.
It's delicious. I heard music at Robert's Western.
Western Wear.
Yes.
Yeah.
Robert's
They got the
Western Wear.
bologna sandwich and the
At
like the Bud Light.
3:30 in the afternoon, there was incredible honky tonk music. I'm in love with your state.
It's
after
a wonderful
6 hours.
state. It's a wonderful state.
So last night, Tennesseans, I'm glad you're both here. Hey, so on Jeopardy, this was not last night. This was the night before, I think. This is such a horrible clip because on Jeopardy, they had a clue that was basically who is the current Attorney General, right? Who is the current Attorney General? That's the question. And not only that, they put up a picture of the current Attorney General, who is, of course,
Loretta Lynch.
Loretta Lynch. That's right. 3 Jeopardy players were there on Jeopardy last night, or the night before last, and this is what happened.
Before your eyes, 600, please.
Here she is at her Senate confirmation hearing to be our top cop.
Bruh.
And the lady's name is Loretta Lynch.
Nobody knew it. Nobody knew it.
That's sad.
Is that
That's
terrifying?
sad.
And there's a picture of her on the thing.
I think the picture is the least important part of it.
I mean, if
Well,
you
it would
read
help.
I mean, she's been in the news for months now since she was nominated. I mean, it was a
Played
huge
out
confirmation
over
fight.
months.
Yeah.
And they didn't know. The current Attorney General. Alex Trebek should have said, get out. All 3 of you.
This is the easiest Jeopardy answer that there's ever been.
Yeah, it's a tie for third. It's a tie for last place. You all lose, ladies and gentlemen. You win nothing.
This has been a great show for however many years it's been on. We're
this is
shutting
it,
it down.
folks. This is the end. This is the end of
shutting
Jeopardy.
it
We're
down.
done.
That's when you need the SNL parody with Will Ferrell and
Yes.
Totally.
Sean Connery.
Yeah.
Totally. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Jessica, I want to kick off with the big announcement yesterday of Rick Perry. Mm-hmm. So he was in Addison, Texas, and we should point this out because every picture that we've seen of Rick Perry, it's Rick Perry, and he's got Marcus Luttrell, the subject of what's the movie?
Lone Survivor.
Yeah,
Lone Survivor.
Navy SEAL. Yeah.
Navy SEAL. So it's him and then his twin brother. So Elisa, I want to just run through a couple of clips here. Perry makes it official. He's running.
For the presidency of the United States of America.
And then, there he is on TV. And then he goes on and he talks about Americans achieving their highest dream.
Let's give them a president who leads us in the direction of our highest dreams, our best dreams, our highest hopes, and our greatest promise.
And then, of course, it rang very, very familiar to me from this old piece of audio.
We want to promote families in America. Families is where our nation finds hope, where wings take dream.
Where wings take dream.
Like
another former
George
Texas governor.
W. Bush.
He does have a Bush quality to him, doesn't he?
He does. I mean, and I was with him in Iowa about a week and a half ago. And, I spent a whole day following Perry around the state. And, he is a very, very good retail politician.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He comes into a room. He kind of, really sort of takes over the whole room. And, he walks around, he shakes everybody's hand, he calls everybody by name, which I noted in my stories because his staff makes you wear name tags, so he knows your name.
So it's very impressive that he knows all
right.
these names.
Yeah, but I mean, he talks to everybody. Well, he talks to everybody.
Yeah.
He, has some story. He was talking with one guy about like plowing their crops and stuff too. I mean, like this is a guy who, and he talked a lot about it in his announcement speech. I mean, he's from the tiny town of Paint Creek, Texas, which he says had 2 churches, one Baptist, one Methodist. You were out of luck if you weren't either one. His family were tenant cotton farmers there in Texas, which is not a crop that typically grows in Texas.
Right.
And, he can connect with sort of that agricultural base. And, as I wrote in my story, like this is the Rick Perry that people were promised in 2012. That he was supposed to be this great campaigner, that he could relate to rural voters, to religious voters, and he didn't show up, and he admits that himself. Like as he said after, his infamous oops debate, like I stepped in it, and oops. Yeah. Oops. But I mean, the thing is, like, that moment just crystallized everything, because like his campaign was over long before that moment.
That's a good point.
And that is an important point that seems to be missing from a lot of this. His campaign was over in large part because of immigration and his stance on it. He had been actually more open as the governor of Texas to a path towards what the Republicans consider amnesty. Has he addressed that when you were with him in Iowa, or is he dealing with that problem now?
What he did mention, I believe, was that, that something he's really emphasizing border security and saying, as it was the longest border in the country, like
the easy Republican out.
Yeah. So, I mean, he kind of talks about it that way and stuff too. But, he was prepared on a lot of questions. I was really struck by. Of course, this when I was with him, it was the week right after the whole Jeb Bush Iraq fiasco and things too, and he had a good answer for that, saying, I wouldn't have gone in, but I blame Obama for pulling out the troops, and and not going with the surge and stuff too. So he had like a very ready-made answer for that he repeated throughout the day. And I was also really struck by, this was also at the time of the whole like Jade Helm thing with the takeover and thinking that, and his predecessor, his successor rather, Greg Abbott, was one that we sent in the state guard and stuff too, and kind of heightened the fears. And one woman stands up and like talks about is very much like they're gonna take over and everything too, and he kind of calmed her down. He was like like this isn't gonna happen. I trust our military. And all of this. And so he kind of took a more measured tone in that. I was really struck by that too. But I mean, he's a very engaging guy, but I think what it comes down to, when you look at the polls, I mean, he's barely at 1%. I mean, he may not even get into the debates if it's the top 10 and stuff too. And, his moment, I think, really was in 2012.
Then why is he getting this much coverage? Because as you noted, right when we were playing the clip, he was up on our TVs we have in the studio here. Are they covering him to see if he oopses again?
Well, I mean, he is. I mean, he is. He was one of the longest serving governors in the country, and I mean, he is still a major political figure, I think. And I mean, listen, everyone sort of gets their turn in this sort of carousel when they announce they get this much coverage, it seems like. Even George Pataki got his brief moment in the sun, I feel like. So,
sweet.
I mean, and Lindsey Graham too.
When you reach a certain age, you need some sunshine every day.
And I will say one thing that he's emphasizing too, which, one thing I will say that he's emphasizing too that it wasn't as big in 2012 that really does sort of set him apart in 2016 is he's one of only 2 military veterans in the field too.
Oh, that's a good point.
So
Which is kind of amazing. I mean,
it is.
There was a time for a long time in American politics where serving in the military was a prerequisite for running.
Exactly. But I mean, we've passed the time, which is kind of amazing. You look at our history, we're never going to have a president in office that served in Vietnam. And, so Perry was after that. But, I mean, you have him and you have Lindsey Graham, and they're the only 2 military veterans in the field. So Perry's really talking up his military service. When I went to his website yesterday, when I was noticing the whole Popeyes thing, I was reading his biography, and the very first thing it says is like...
I love Popeyes chicken. Yeah. Did it say that in the bio?
Rick Perry, finger licking good.
That's it.
Is that, the whole first paragraph is about his military service, and that's something that, I know he talked about in 2012, but obviously with national security being such a pressing issue right now, that's something he's really talking up a lot on the trail.
You mentioned Lindsey Graham. I want to kick it open a little bit to all of the other GOP candidates.
Sorry, I laugh every time I hear Lindsey Graham and candidate for president.
In the context of running for president. It really,
oh my stars.
Lindsey Graham's announcement is one of the most pathetic things I've ever heard a politician say. He goes, I know a lot of y'all would never think that I would say this. I even thought so myself, but I'm running for president. Like,
surprise, y'all!
Sucks all the wind out of his own announcement by saying, like, I never thought I was going to do this, and now here I am. But I don't want to spend much time on Lindsey Graham, my fellow South Carolinian, by the way.
Yes.
But there's Perry is the 10th GOP candidate, right? Like, he's the 10th candidate that's in this race. And more are coming.
Yeah.
We know Bobby Jindal is coming up. We know Jeb Bush is coming up. There's still...
What about Chris Christie? Is
Chris Christie still
coming up or not?
That's still...
That is the big question.
That is a big question. You know, we haven't. I mean, he's been in New Hampshire. He's been in South Carolina this past week. He is getting out there
himself
more.
into a baseball uniform.
Yeah.
He is getting out there more, but I mean, you know, there is still some. He's one that I feel like you've just got to look back. And I mean, he was at the top of the polls in 2012. Like, he was the one that Mitt Romney's campaign was so worried about, and he passed on it. And I think he's another one that really missed his moment because, I mean, you know, you look at 4 years later where his political standing is, both in the state and then with scandals surrounding him and everything, too. And I mean, you know, I think it's, do you get in to sort of try to rehabilitate your image maybe? But it's just hard to see him really going anywhere.
It's interesting to me that this year, or this cycle, I should say, everybody who normally flirts with running for president is they're just going ahead and doing it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I heard the Lindsey Graham stuff for a while. I figured it would just go away. I heard the Bobby Jindal stuff for a while. I figured that would just go away. I mean, even the Donald Trump stuff. Like, a lot of reporters, they feel pretty confident that Donald Trump is getting into the race.
I think he is. I mean, the way he's talked and stuff, too. So he's getting it on my birthday. So thank you, Donald Trump.
That's going to be a terrible birthday. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to cover it, but it is a heck of a birthday present.
The Donald Trump thing, to me, feels like everybody said he's not running. He teases us every year, and he's just so prideful. He was like, screw this, I'm getting in.
But, like...
And he will make it, like, I mean, where he is in the polls because of name recognition and things, too, like... He's probably going to make it in the top 10 in the debate stage, too. I mean, that's just...
I wanted to park it right there for a second on the debate stuff. Because when you have... So we're looking at, like, at least 15 candidates, right? I think some people have it as high up as, like, 21 on the GOP side. But we're looking...
I think at one point I counted 22 possible.
Good grief.
Are the Duck Dynasty guys running?
Duck Dynasty's not running, I'm sorry.
They're backing Bobby Jindal.
They are, yeah, that's right. They're the only people in Louisiana. They're the only people in Louisiana who still actually like Bobby Jindal.
Yeah, they're the asterisk in polls for his favorability when it shows up.
So they're not going to be able to get all those candidates on a debate stage. How are they going to handle that?
I mean, that's one of the big controversies right now is that the very first one, the Fox News debate that's in August has said, we're going to take the top 10 of, I think, the most recent 4 polls of an average of national polls, too. So I think that really shifts the strategy because a lot of these people are focusing their energy in Iowa and New Hampshire and stuff, too, and they may be doing better in polls there than they are nationally. So do they start a national ad buy to try to get their name up? Like, I mean, you know, because this is typically primaries aren't run on a national stage. They're run sort of sequentially through these early primary states. So it really sort of changes the dynamic there.
And debates are free media for these folks who don't have, you know, the bank accounts of Jeb Bush, who's
right.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's how sort of, I mean, Newt Gingrich really sort of, he did really well in the debates and even ended up winning South Carolina. It helped Rick Santorum. It helped a lot of people last time. And, you know, you just can't feasibly have that many people on the stage. So, I mean, you have Rick Santorum, who is, of course, running again, not doing as well as he did last time, but he's really sort of protesting this. And then CNN's doing, the next debate is CNN, and they're doing something interesting. They're like having sort of like an A section and a B section. So there's like going to be like the people who are, you know, the bottom of the polls and the top of the polls.
Oh, man.
As I said, like, I mean,
the NIT.
That's exactly, yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it is. It's like, you know, you don't want to be in the NIT when everyone else is in the NCAA tournament.
And they're going to do it all on their virtual holodeck?
Yeah, that's how it works.
They could just put everyone in on a hologram.
Yeah. All right, we have to take a quick break. It's Jessica Taylor. She is the lead digital political reporter for NPR. She joins us in the studio, the first time wearing that title. Yeah. My name is Peter Ogburn. His name is Jonathan Levy. We are going to take a quick break. We will be right back.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Hey, friends, good to see you today. I hope you're enjoying this show. Now, look, let's take a little time out. And I got to tell you, friends, you know, I love you, but I got a big beef with you today. I mean, come on. We are a couple of days already into our pledge drive. We're here at the end of the week, and we're not feeling the love at this end yet. Come on. I know you don't like hearing me remind you to make your pledge to Free Speech TV any more than I like having to remind you. But the fact is, we got a great thing going here called Free Speech TV, the only progressive 24-hour cable channel anywhere in this country. We got a great thing going. We want to keep it going, and the only way we can keep it going is with your help. So, you know, come on, stop farting around. Let's make your pledge today. Do it today before the weekend, and please as generous as you can. I mean, just think what you get for your pledge. First of all, you get me and Stephanie Miller and Tom Hartman and Amy Goodman and David Packman and all the other great hosts on Free Speech TV in your home every day, plus the great documentaries that Free Speech provides as well to fill out the programming. With all of that, I mean, that in and of itself is worth making the pledge for. But if you need an extra little incentive, here are a couple of things you ought to consider. If you can just help us with $60, we will send you one of these very fun little stamps that you can put on your checks, on your dollar bills or whatever, that say, not to be used for bribing politicians. Help us out with $120. That's just $10 a month. And we'll send you a copy of John Nichols' great book on money in politics called Dollarocracy. For $240 or $20 a month, you get the stamp, not to be used for bribing politicians, please, and a copy of Dollarocracy. And for $360, you get the whole enchilada, the stamp, not to be used for bribing politicians, copy of John Nichols' book, Dollarocracy, and a Free Speech TV baseball cap. A special gift out there. And remember, I know you've seen that other video with Craig Teer from out in Michigan, drove all the way here to make his $500 pledge and to challenge you to match you or you and your friends to match his pledge of $500. So lots of reasons to do it. And if you can help with the big $1,000, if you're capable of doing that, you make the pledge to Free Speech TV, then get yourself to Washington with a friend. Carol and I will take you out to dinner, and we'll bring you into studio the next morning to meet the team, have some district donuts, and have a good time here. So make your pledge today. Come on, please. We need it. Do it before the weekend. Here's a number, 877-378-8669. 877-378-8669, or just go to freespeech.org. We need your help. We want to feel your love today. Thank you.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
This is the Bill Press Show.
It is the Bill Press Show. I am not Bill Press. My name is Peter Ogburn. I'm sitting in with Jonathan Levy, hosting the show today. You can follow the show at BP Show on Twitter. You can follow our guest, Jessica Taylor, at Jessica Taylor. That's a pretty prime handle, by the way. It doesn't have to be like,
how did you get that?
Like, yeah, how did you get? Were you an early adopter?
I have secrets. I have secrets.
She has bodies. She has a body in her trunk, the real Jessica Taylor that she stole the Twitter handle.
You know how
from.
they roll at NPR?
That's right.
Take no prisoners approach.
She is the lead digital political reporter for NPR. Okay, so we only have about a minute and a half, which is really all the time we need to talk about the Democratic candidates, because we obviously have Hillary Clinton, but who else is out there? We've got Martin O'Malley, we've got Blaney, and now we have
Lincoln Chafee.
Lincoln Chafee, who I love. Can we play that clip? This is his big platform.
Let's join the rest of the world and go metric. I happen to live in Canada.
The reporters laugh. Great song.
They completed the process.
All right, we can
When the
stop
big
there.
takeaway from your campaign announcement, every headline was like, Lincoln Chafee, let's use the metric
He
system.
wants to go metric. The reporters that laughed when he said it.
I mean, and here's the puzzling thing. So he was former governor of Rhode Island. I mean, like he didn't run for re-election because he was going to lose. He ran as an independent in a weird three-way race in 2010. Won. He then switched to become a Democrat, hoping that would save him in the primary. When it became apparent it wasn't going to, he just didn't run. And then he doesn't even announce in Rhode Island. He announces here in Arlington.
In Arlington.
Yeah, at George Mason University. And then my favorite thing was you saw all the pictures of like the announcement and like there was nobody there. It was like media.
Yeah, that's it. It was very sad. So he's not going to really be a problem for
and then if you saw and then his wife wrote on the Facebook page. Did you see this?
I didn't see this.
His wife wrote on the Facebook page that does anyone have his password? To, like we've lost it. Oh. She later deleted it.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Oh no, that's terrible. Okay, we got to wrap up. Jessica Taylor, political reporter for NPR. Thank you so much for coming in. Follow her on Twitter at Jessica Taylor. Quick break. We'll be right back.
This is the Bill Press Show.
All right, folks, just a little time out. Hope you're enjoying the show today. A little time out here to tell you again and get your about Free Speech TV and get your help. And, you know, we reach out to you, all of our viewers around the country during these pledge drives, ask you to help. And we're so grateful when you do. And it's very rare, though. We get a chance to thank one of you actually in person. So we welcome to the show today and to our studio Craig Teer, all the way from Chelsea, Michigan, a regular free speech viewer and a very generous contributor to free speech. Craig, it's good to see you.
It's good to be here, Bill.
Thank you for coming in all the way from Chelsea, Michigan. I know last year we met because you were made a $1,000 pledge. You and your daughter came. Carol and I, we all went out to dinner together. Had a good time. That was a lot of fun.
Had a great time.
Right. And it's good to see you back. So tell us again, why do you really like Free Speech TV?
Free speech to me is the dream come true. It's television without commercials, plain and simple.
Yeah. And you like the people and obviously in the content on Free Speech?
All of the regular programs plus all of the special programs you can't find anyplace else on the television set.
It's the one progressive television channel people don't realize is maybe in the country, right? 24/7, where you can always count on going there and hearing good stuff from a progressive point of view.
This is true. It's 24 hours a day. All of the programs are great to watch, intellectually stimulating, and have great progressive concepts.
Well, we wouldn't be here without people like you, and I want to thank you again personally. And you're back today because you want to make another pledge and challenge people to meet it, right?
That's right. I would like to pledge a half of my net worth, 0.5% of my net worth, to match the Koch brothers' donation to the GOP. So I am committing $500.
Great.
To the Free Speech TV, and hope that your listeners can match that.
I think that's a great challenge. All right, so there you go. There's $500 from Craig Teer today. You can match that yourself, or a couple of you, 2 or 3 of you, get together, get your family members together, and match this pledge so Craig doesn't feel alone. And we have the help we need on Free Speech to get going. And, of course, you know the way to do so, Craig, you certainly do, is give us a call at 877-378-8669. Number again, 877-378-8669. Or just go to freespeech.org, freespeech.org. And, Craig, the other thing I want to congratulate you on, you are a pioneer in solar energy. I know you have a solar-powered car right now. So you're doing so many great things. You know,
I've been doing this for most of my life, wind and solar energy, and supporting environmental groups and organizations that promote solar energy.
Well, so good of you to do that, and so good of you to come in. And thanks again for your help for Free Speech TV. And match Craig Teer's $500 grant. Thank you, Craig.
It's so important. Thank you.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. At highway speeds, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Stop the texts, stop the wrecks.
is the Bill Press Show.
Yes, indeed, it is the Bill Press Show. It is 33 minutes past the hour. My name is Peter Ogburn. I am hosting the Bill Press Show today, along with Jonathan Levy, Democratic strategist. You can follow him on Twitter at Wolf Levy. What a name.
What a man.
Still, what a name, what a man, what a legend.
I am so excited that you asked me to be in here today, Peter.
Right?
For many reasons. I love being with you. I love being with the team. But really, I love with what just happened at this break.
Yeah, so here's the deal. We here on the show are starting to get a little bit of a reputation for being drunks. We drink. We drink. I mean, we're nice people, but we drink.
Best reputation a morning show can have.
You know what I mean? And so every now and then we bring in some friends of ours to talk about things they're working on and to bring us booze. And one of the people that we have in here this morning is Thar Heil, the co-chair for the Fund for Alexandria's Child. She joins us in studio. Good morning. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, I want to find out first of all, any future guests on the show who want to join the program, one surefire way to get booked on the program is to ply us with booze. Mm-hmm. Let that be known. But there's a reason that you're here with booze, Thar, and we're going to talk about that. First of all, tell me a little bit about the Fund for Alexandria's Child and what that is.
The fund is an intergovernmental community outreach program which helps meet the basic needs as well as social development needs of children in foster care and children at risk.
Oh, that's great. That's a very, very important issue.
Yeah. So what are the needs that you guys help them with?
Well, as far as social development, which we think is highly important, we offer karate lessons, basically funds that, maybe perhaps they might need a graduation gown or prom dress, things of those natures that you want the children to feel as though they are just, one of their regular peers.
Right, they're with everybody else.
Correct.
I think that's really, really, really important work, and it's
something that's overlooked. So
very
often
overlooked. I was just about to say it's not something that people necessarily think of right off the bat because there is obviously the big hurdle of a foster home. And finding a foster home,
yes.
but then what?
Yes. Well, our motto is not everyone can be a foster parent, but everyone can help a foster child. So
I like that. I like that a lot. So tell us a little bit about what kind of work you're doing here in DC and beyond some of the things that you just mentioned. What else is out there?
Sorry, with relation to the fund
Yeah.
specifically. Okay. Well,
I'm a terrible interviewer. we should just get that.
Just pour the vodka in his mouth.
Yeah, I'm the worst.
Well, we'll get to that, but we actually go outside of helping foster children and at-risk youth. We also help seniors. We help. For instance, during holiday sharing, which is obviously during the holidays. We collect donations of bikes, warm clothes, holiday gifts, senior gift cards for their medicines, things like that. But we primarily stay within Alexandria and that community.
Okay, all right. How long have you guys been operating?
Since 2003.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about what, if we wanted to help, and we're going to get to the specific fundraiser, like what people can do to help. Where can they go and how can they support this cause?
Well, you can go online. We do have a website where you can make donations. Let me just see if I can pull the direct link up there.
Again, it's Thar Heil that's joining us, the co-chair for the Fund for Alexandria's Child, joining us in studio. If you want to follow them on Twitter, it's Fund, the number 4, Alex Child.
And the website, and I know it's quite long, but it's alexandriavirginia.gov, the Fund for Alex Child. And you can just Google it and we immediately pop up, so that might be easier.
The Fund for Alexandria's Child. Okay, so tell us why you brought in wonderful fruit juices and Grey Goose vodka.
Okay.
Other than to get in Peter's good graces.
We got that covered. Yeah. She and I are tight at this point.
We have to bribe people to get, have people give for a good cause. But so tonight is our annual fundraiser.
Oh, nice.
Yes, and it's being held at the Hotel Monaco in Alexandria, Virginia.
Oh, what a great hotel, by the way.
Yes,
yeah.
Good food. And so it starts at 7 p.m., and we have signature drinks. The theme of the event is an an island affair. And so, of course, I will be mixing island-type drinks today.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I like this.
Yes.
Wait, on a cold and gray day outside.
It's supposed to be nice.
Yes.
It's June.
Yes.
I like your style, Tar.
Yes.
We're going to think optimistically.
A little island drink would brighten up all of our lives.
That's right.
And
now.
it's supposed to be sunny because our fundraiser is being held in the courtyard, so it has to be sunny. Thank you.
You'll be okay tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
You'll
Okay.
be okay. You'll be okay tonight. So what are you serving us here?
All right. So the first drink, we're going to have two.
Oh. Oh, dear.
Buckle up.
Yeah. Well, you're with a professional. You're with a couple of professionals here, Tar.
All right. So it's called the Cape Cod.
Oh, I love the Cape Cod.
And you know why it's called the Cape Cod? I'll give you a little gastronomy/mixology lesson.
I need to know this.
All right. So, vodka is not part of Cape Cod, but that's okay, you know.
You're already not drinking out of the bottle, so it's
That's
beyond
right.
what I normally do.
So we're going to have 2 shots or 2 ounces.
Oh, boy.
Actually, that might be a lot more than
That is a
But you
cup
know
that
what?
is
That's okay.
3/4 of the way full of vodka.
That's a boozy drink.
Yeah, that is.
So the reason why they call it Cape Cod is because of the mini not codberries. What are they called?
Cranberries?
Codberries.
I would totally eat codberry.
Codberry creme egg?
Yeah, codberry creme egg. Yes.
The cranberry bogs.
The bogs, yeah.
That
Right,
are,
right.
you know, in the Cape area. So thus,
I thought it was that.
Look at how much vodka is
when
there.
you take a sip of that drink.
I may have added more than 2
island.
ounces.
I
but
think you might have.
Yes. And
That's cool. I'm going to take my top off here in a
there's
second.
a
once I
lime
take
here
a few
that
sips
goes
of
in with it.
This
and
is a
then
cranberry vodka with a lime on the side.
Beautiful. It's a beautiful drink.
that's it. The
Very
Cape Cod.
I never knew this had a name other than cranberry vodka.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cape
Or,
Cod.
like sorority poison.
Yeah.
Sorority
poison.
You go to a sorority party
Yes.
in college, and this is how you'd end up, crawling home.
This
Yes.
is mostly straight vodka. I just
Yeah.
want to be clear about it. I'm going to
Yes.
put a little lime juice in there
Yes,
because I'm
yes.
fighting scurvy.
Because you're classy like
Because I'm
that.
fighting scurvy.
At least it's not 6 whiskey shots,
Yeah.
Peter.
I've been there. I've been
Hurry
there.
that up over there, Peter.
I want to give it a good mix, Jonathan.
Yeah, but there are others who are thirsty.
Overpowering, yeah.
That is truly delicious. No, that is truly delicious. It's not overpowering.
Okay.
Why don't you hang a fang on that?
Yeah,
Swan?
let's
That's
see
pretty
what's
good.
going on here.
Yeah. And let me-
Right?
yeah.
Did
by
we
the
get
way-
a good sipping sound into the microphone?
Yeah, make sure you get that there.
Good little slurp.
I'm just drinking more for the effect.
Again, it's the Hotel
That is
Monaco.
delicious.
The Hotel Monaco in Alexandria, Virginia. It's on 480 King Street. The fundraiser is called An Island Affair to help out the Fund for Alexandria's Child. We're joined by Thar Heil. She is the co-chair, and she's in studio with us, trying to get us hammered.
Yeah.
So, that's fun.
With the heavy hand she pours with, not going to have a problem with that.
What a great cause, though, right? Like if you're in DC
Getting us
and
drunk?
you're
Oh, no.
that
Helping out
too.
foster children.
But if you're in DC and you want to go actually really help out a good cause while you're getting some good food, they got a good
Oh,
kitchen there.
yes, they do.
And then are you going to be pouring the drinks? Because if you're pouring the drinks, I think you're going to end up. A lot of people are going to be tanked within like 30 minutes.
Well, that's great. Then you go collect more money.
Then you go get more money, right? Is that how it works?
Exactly. We're offering raffle, a big raffle to St. Croix.
I'll buy one.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. 30 tickets, please.
We have a great silent auction, too.
Hey, well, the beauty about these signature drinks is that because they have fruit juice in them, it's harder to get hammered as you would like.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
I'm going to say that is not true.
Oh, you'd be surprised, Tar.
I'm making excuses here.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
would you like the next drink?
Yeah, would we?
Look at him. He's got the shake. He's drying out already. Give him a drink.
I got the DTs. It's been 4 seconds since I've drank.
So what's the other drink?
All right, so
What do
the
you have?
next drink is a Bay Breeze. And the reason why I chose the Bay Breeze is because it's got Cape Cod as the base.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay, so
Well, this is wonderful so far.
I will try to be less heavy-handed this time.
Don't.
No? Okay, here.
No,
That's about
unnecessary.
1 ounce. I don't have a pourer, so I can't really.
I
I think I just drank like 2 shots of vodka.
I don't want you to compromise your craft here.
All right, so the Bay Breeze, instead of all cranberry juice,
All right, you got the cran.
it is half cran.
Okay.
All right? And in order to make it a Bay Breeze, because the Bay has lots of pineapple, okay, I may have
Let me
made
tell
that
you
up, but it sounded good, right?
Pineapple is the king of
Bays have a lot of pineapple.
Yeah, the cod,
It's a pineapple bay.
codberries. Do you know how much I love pineapples? Pineapple is the king of fruit. Am I wrong?
I love pineapple.
I love
pineapple?
codberries. Codberries.
What's better than a pineapple?
What we're about to have.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Jonathan, I'll let you have the first
Why,
sip.
thank you.
You're
So I'll do the squeeze of lime because
Yeah.
I'm classy like
Yeah.
Peter.
Yeah.
And thank you, by the way, for keeping the straw paper on top here.
That's very kind.
It's hygiene. It's in line with health codes. So, that's fabulous. I want to drink this out of a coconut with umbrellas coming out of it, sitting in a hammock on a beach somewhere.
For those of you watching or not able to watch right now, Jonathan is actually wearing a coconut bra and a grass skirt.
If we could, we'd play lime in the coconut.
Yeah.
That is delicious.
Let me have some of this. I love pineapple juice, I love cranberry, and I love vodka.
And this is also not too sweet, which is surprising to me. It's a squirt of lime in there.
Oh, that's trouble.
Yeah,
that is
real trouble.
Absolutely trouble.
That is one of my favorite drinks.
Yes, I can understand why.
Yes.
And again, I'd like to stress, we are doing this for a good cause.
Yes.
It is important to remember.
That's right. I'm treating a spiritual problem with a chemical solution.
Well, we still have tickets available for tonight, so please join us.
Where can people go to find tickets?
You can go online, again, Google the Fund for Alexandria's Child. You can buy online there or come to the door.
Come to the door, and if you want to find out more information, go follow us on Twitter at BP Show. We'll have links. We'll have all the information you need. Thar, Heil, co-chair for the Fund for Alexandria's Child. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
What a great time.
Awesome.
Stock up on those codberries. I'm telling you. My name is Peter Ogburn. His name is Jonathan Levy. Quick break. We'll be right back.
Hey, what do you say, friends and neighbors? Good morning. Good morning. I've got just one question for you. That's all today. Have you made your pledge yet? If not, why not? Come on. You know that we need your help. We really, really do count on your help. We couldn't do it without you. So we ask you to make your pledge today. You know how it works around here. I mean, Free Speech TV, in a sense, free speech isn't. I mean, at least in one sense, free speech isn't, because, yes, we are free to say whatever we want without any censorship, without any corporate editorial pressure. We are, as a result of having no government money, no corporate money, no Koch brothers money, we can bring you every day just the freewheeling, independent, unafraid, good, strong, progressive analysis and commentary that you like. That's why you tune in. Certainly we are free to do that every day. But, it's not free to produce the programming, not free to create the programming, not free to get this program out to you every day, 24/7. That's where we need your help, because, again, without any corporate funds, without any government funds, we don't even seek them, without any Koch brothers funds, we could not just be here every day. We totally depend on your help and your pledges, and now's the time to make them. If you can help us with just $60, we'll send you a very fun item. That's just $5 a month. Send you a very fun item, a little stamp that says not to be used for bribing politicians, just to raise the issue of all this excess obscene money in politics. For $120 a month, $10 a month, send you a copy of John Nichols' great new book about the evil of money in politics called Dollarocracy. We don't have a democracy, we have a dollarocracy, says John Nichols. For $20 a month or $240 pledge, we'll send you that stamp plus the book by John Nichols, and step it up to $30 a month, $360 a year. How about it? You get the stamp, not used for bribing politicians. You get the book by John Nichols, Dollarocracy, and a free speech baseball cap as well. For those of you who can make a very special gift of $1,000, make your way to Washington. Carol and I will join you for dinner one night, take you out to dinner here at one of our great restaurants on Capitol Hill, and then you can come in the next morning, meet our team. We'll get some donuts in, and you can be part of the program that following morning. At any rate, the most important thing is Free Speech TV. We can only bring you that freewheeling commentary if you make your pledge, and we urge you again, we really need your help. Do it now. Don't put it off any longer. You can get to the end of the program and feel satisfied that Free Speech TV is there today because of your pledge that you make today. Thank you.
the most valuable morning radio show, according to The Nation magazine. This is The Bill Press Show.
You know, that's true. We are the most valuable morning show.
Yes, we are.
The Nation magazine. Hi, folks.
Since our last segment, Peter has taken his shirt off.
Hi, folks. I'm your host, Panama Jack.
It's turned into a Jimmy Buffett concert in here. Peter is a hamburger in paradise.
Oh, my goodness.
Cheeseburger in paradise. Excuse me. Hamburger! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not a true parrot head.
Yeah, you lose.
I remember when I was introduced to Jimmy Buffett the first time, I was convinced it was a joke.
It's the worst, right?
It's the worst.
Have you ever been to a Jimmy Buffett concert?
No, I'm not. 60 years old and live in Ohio.
I've been to one.
You've been to one?
Horrible.
Why were you at a Jimmy Buffett concert?
It's a long story. It involves my misguided youth.
That is falling in with the wrong crowd.
Really and truly. Hey, folks, my name is Peter Auger, and I'm hosting the Bill Press Show today. I'm joined by Jonathan Lee. That was a full-blown infomercial. I'm hosting the show with Jonathan Levy.
Man, you do a segment with booze, and everything goes off the rails.
It just completely falls off,
the rails.
Yeah. Whew,
so there's important news that has just come across the news wire.
Breaking news. By the way, the job numbers have come out. The U.S. economy has added 280,000 jobs in the month of May. That is the best month of 2015. The unemployment, oddly enough, ticked slightly higher to 5.5%. Jonathan, what do these numbers mean?
Well, more people joined the labor force, which is good.
Yeah.
But we've also, in addition to the high numbers, which are higher than what people expected, they were expecting around 225,000. Wages, average wages ticked up 8 cents an hour. These are all good points, and it continues to show strong growth in the economy. There's still some concern in various sectors on some bigger numbers, GDP and a few other things. But the economy has been growing steadily, despite the Republicans referring to Obamacare as jobs-killing, health care bill, despite all the concerns about Keynesian economics. We are the country that has come out of this recession slowly, but we've come out of it. Well, you look at Europe, who has been stagnant because of austerity. There is a very clear case here that the Obama administration and the Democrats have been dead on. Now, we are not, things aren't rosy yet.
But my goodness, what a great set of numbers here to work with.
We continue to march in the right direction.
All right. So we talked last hour about Caitlyn Jenner. And I want to talk to you about one thing that I'm sure everybody has seen if you're on Facebook and you're friends with any of your conservative friends from high school, which that's like the opening line to so many jokes. My friends from high school put on Facebook ... and it's always something terrible.
Yes.
So
sadly, it's not usually a joke.
No, you're right. It's not a joke. But so one of my conservative friends from high school that I saw this the other day put up this picture showing that says, as I see post after post after post about Bruce Jenner's transition to a woman, and I hear the words like bravery, heroism, and courage, just thought I'd like to remind all of us what real American courage, heroism, and bravery look like. And it's a shot of what looks like two American soldiers slogging through some mud. One of them has a gun drawn, slung over the back of his comrade. You've seen this, right? You're on Facebook.
Yes.
You've seen this.
Yeah.
Well, now, as the late, great Paul Harvey would say, the rest of the story. Jonathan, do you want to pick this up?
Yeah, so, we can leave aside for a second the fact that this is a ridiculous false equivalent.
Right.
Because I think that's pretty obvious. But this picture is actually not of real soldiers, but of Ken dolls that have been reassembled to look like soldiers in an action sequence. And they've been put together by a gentleman in upstate New York who was beaten severely. And this happened actually in an area I worked in a long time ago in Kingston, New York. I ran a congressional campaign up there. He was beaten severely, and as part of his healing process, he was a former soldier. As part of his healing process, he created this make-believe land called Marwin-Call. It's fabulous. It's an incredible documentary about it. The second layer of sick irony on top of this is the reason he was beaten is because he was a cross-dresser. And he wasn't transgender,
right?
But he liked to wear women's clothing. And he was found by a bunch of guys who were coming out of a bar one night and beaten within an inch of his life for wearing women's clothing. And this and actually, when he came to after being in a coma, he went home. He had lost a lot of his memory. He opened his closet and said, "Do I have a girlfriend?" Because he didn't remember this part of his life.
When Mr. Hogan, this is from a piece in the 2011 New York Times Profile. When Mr. Hogenkamp returned home after the beating, he discovered a closet full of women's pumps and boots. "Do I have a girlfriend?" he asked a friend. "They're yours," the friend replied. "You collect them and you wear them." Mr. Hogenkamp then learned that the men who beat him did so after he told them he was a cross-dresser.
Yeah. And so, he actually he's dealt with his beating in a very heroic way, because there are different types of heroism. So, because of all the crazy right-wing stuff, at least we've gotten to shed light on something else that's happened and another man's way of dealing with it. But it teaches you a lesson that you should not be judging this in a binary sense.
That's right. Maybe all those friends that were posting on Facebook were right. Maybe it did show a little heroism and courage of a man who was a cross-dresser who went on to create this. So, my name is Peter Ogburn. I'm here with Jonathan Levy. We've got one more very short segment coming up. It's the Bill Press Show. We'll be right back.
This is the Bill Press Show.
When I started learning of nutrition, about which, by the way, much less is known than you might think, I learned that what mattered most about one's health was not necessarily the nutrients, good or bad, that you were consuming or staying away from, or even the calorie counts. But what predicted a healthy diet more than anything else is the fact that it was being cooked by a human being and not a corporation. Corporations cook very differently than people do. They use vast amounts of salt, fat, and sugar, much more than you would ever use in your own cooking. And the reason they do that is those are three incredibly attractive and incredibly cheap ingredients. And when they're layered properly, as in a chip or pastries and forms of junk food, they're incredibly addictive. They really press our buttons. They activate our dopamine, our cravings. And in fact, people in the industry, they don't talk about addiction in the traffic addiction. They talk about craveability. And ability is the term they use, lovely word. And then the point about cooking that's important to understand is they cook different stuff than you do at home. What they're good at, in general, they don't cook that well. Things like chips, they cook. Classic that if you the potatoes, you have a lot of oil, to spat fire stove, to clean, you have to get rid of. It's really, really difficult, and it's a pain. Wonderful pain. If you yourself, you eat them 6 weeks, 2 months, too much work. But corporations cook so simple and so inexpensive, and they're really good, that you will have them twice a day, as many people in America do. So you see the kinds of foods you end up with are these labor-intensive foods and desserts. These special occasion foods become everyday foods when we let industry cook for us. Eat anything you want, just cook it yourself.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
This is the Bill Press Show.
Hi, friends. It's me, Peter Ogburn. I'm here hosting the Bill Press Show with Jonathan Levy. By the way, today is National Donut Day. That's right, Jonathan. Did you know that?
I did know that, Peter, because when I walked in here, there were donuts everywhere.
Yeah, the smell of fried sugar was here in the studio.
I mean, that's usually what you smell like. But it was,
that's just my natural musk.
That's eau de
I am
Peter.
as God made me. I smell like fried sugar. Anyway.
Eat the donut while talking.
Thank you so much for watching today's show. It's a Friday show. Go have a wonderful, great weekend. Thanks to all of our guests, Kai Wright, Jonathan Levy, Megan Garber, Jessica Taylor, and Thar Heil with the Fund for Alexandria's Child. Go check out our Twitter at BP Show. Lots of great links, lots of great information there. Jonathan, thank you for being here, buddy.
It's an absolute pleasure.
I literally couldn't do it without you.
Well, after those drinks, I'm not surprised.
Let's chug these vodkas and get out of here. See you later, folks. Have a wonderful weekend. Really and truly. Bill's going to be back on Monday. We'll see you then.
This is the Bill Press Show.